Ice Apocalypse. This is how you can stock up on the greatest beauties. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 26 Jo Junji's Anger. My Omeo, has your sister's surgery been completed? How was the surgery? After the tall security guard left, Li Xiaoluo called Shen Miaomeo familiarly and no longer had a cold face. Shen Miaomeo nodded quickly, looked at Li Xiaoluo with a sincere face and said, "Well, the operation is completed, and it was very successful. The doctor said that he can be discharged from the hospital after a few more days of observation and rest." "Mr. Li, thank you very much." Li Xiaoluo smiled slightly, then stretched out his big hand to hold Shen Miaomeo's wide and tender hand and said, "What do you call Mr. Li? Just call me Brother Xiaoluo. We will be a family from now on. Don't be too different, understand?" The expression on Shen Miaomeo's beautiful face changed, and then there was a hint of blush on her face. She was really more beautiful than a flower, so beautiful. She also understood the underlying meaning of Li Xiaoluo's words, that is, he was not obligated to help her, but needed her to pay some price. However, Shen Miaomeo did not resist. In fact, the moment Li Xiaoluo gave so much money to treat her sister, she was already prepared in her heart. Li Xiaoluo played with Shen Miaomeo's white, tender and smooth jade hands. As expected, every part of a perfect woman's body is so perfect, and Li Xiaoluo suddenly said, "Miaomeo, bring your sister here today, and you will live in my villa from now on." Ah! Shen Miaomeo was surprised, and then said hurriedly, "Li, Brother Xialuo, the doctor said that my sister will still be under observation in the hospital for a few days." Li Xiaoluo waved her hand to interrupt Shen Miaomeo, "Then bring back the doctors and nurses and let them take care of your sister in the villa. I am not discussing with you, but informing you that today you and your sister must move here." Shen Miaomeo looked at Li Xiaoluo in confusion. With a complicated expression, Li Xiaoluo added, "You will know the reason why I did this tomorrow. In short, it is for the benefit of your sisters. Don't worry, if I simply want your body, there is no need to be anxious for a day or two. If I was really in such a hurry, I would have gone to the hospital to see you these days, and we must have had many in-depth exchanges in the hotel by now." Then, Li Xiaoluo said with a serious face, "Of course, if you don't believe me, then just pretend that I didn't say anything, and you can let your sister continue to stay in the hospital." Shen Miaomeo looked at the overbearing Li Xiaoluo, opened her mouth, and finally whispered, "Well, Brother Xiaoluo, I will go back and ask the doctor first if my sister can be discharged from the hospital and recuperate at home." "Okay." Li Xiaoluo nodded, and then said, "Okay, I was quite busy originally, but I will go to the hospital with you personally later, and then bring your sister to the villa, and find a doctor and nurse to take care of your sister." Shen Miaomeo quickly shook her head and said, "Brother Xiaoluo, don't bother me. If the doctor allows my sister to be discharged, I can just take care of her myself. It will definitely cost a lot of money to find doctors and nurses." Li Xiaoluo glared at Shen Miaomeo. "Why, I look like I have no money." Shen Miaomeo shook her head quickly and stopped talking. Li Xiaoluo actually had his own ideas about bringing sister Shen Miaomeo to live in the villa and finding doctors and nurses to take care of her sister in the near post-apocalyptic world. Order will collapse and the hospital will definitely cease to exist. Although Li Xiaoluo has stocked up on a lot of medicines, he always feels that something is missing. It wasn't until he saw Shen Miaomeo that Li Xiaoluo suddenly became enlightened. He has medicines, but he still lacks doctors. After all, getting sick is not something you can just take some medicine randomly. At the same time, Li Xiaoluo has decided in his heart that the doctors and nurses he finds must be women. And they must have superpowers. They must be able to awaken superpowers in the future and have very high potential. For the time being, ordinary people are not on Li Xiaoluo's list at all and are not qualified to be with him. Otherwise, Li Xiaoluo would not even plan to raise Zhou Xiaotong, Charlotte. Li. At this moment, an angry voice came from the side. Li Xiaoluo turned around and took a look. "Good guy, isn't this Jo Junji, who has oily hair and pink noodles?" After Li Xiaoluo used him last time, he never contacted him again. As for revenge, when the end of the world comes, Li Xiaoluo will have plenty of time to slowly kill Jo Junji. But Li Xiaoluo almost forgot Jo Junji, but Jo Junji always remembered Li Xiaoluo deeply. After all, in his eyes, Li Xiaoluo was a money-splitting boy, almost like a money-printing machine last time. Just a casual contact made him earn several million, which greatly enriched his pocket money. How could he not be impressed? And at that time, Li Xiaoluo also said that he had several billions of funds waiting for good projects. So Zhou Junji had actually carefully prepared good projects for Li Xiaoluo to make money these days, and he was just waiting for Li Xiaoluo to take the initiative to find him, but Li Xiaoluo seems to have forgotten about it. There has been no movement, so Zhou Junji could only wait until Li Xiaoluo was at home and then come to the door himself. After all, you are making money, so there is no shame in lowering your figure. But when Zhou Junji came over, he happened to see Shen Miao being held by Li Xiaoluo. He suddenly didn't understand that the man who spent millions to capture Shen Miao first was actually Li Xiaoluo originally. Zhou Junji had given up after failing to hit Shen Miao with money in the hospital last time. After all, although Shen Miao is a stunning beauty, in the eyes of a young man like him, there are many good-looking beauties. So there is no need to waste too much time and energy on an ignorant woman. However, Zhou Junji is still worried about being beaten first, because it was just a little bit close. That man was just one step ahead of him, but Zhou Junji never expected to see Shen Miao here, and seeing how close Li Xiaoluo and Shen Miao were, even the fool Zhou Junji understood the man who beat him to capture Shen Miao turned out to be Li Xiaoluo. Zhou Junji was immediately angry. In his opinion, how could such a coincidence happen? This Li Xiaoluo must have gotten some news, and then deliberately robbed his woman. No wonder. The last time he wanted to go to the People's Hospital, Li Xiaoluo happened to take his cart to the People's Hospital. At that time, he felt something was wrong, and in the end, Li Xiaoluo bought his old sports car at a high price, which made him postpone going to the People's Hospital to find Shen Miao. Ridiculous. He was happy about it for several days. Li Xiaoluo, don't you have anything to explain to me? Don't tell me that you have known this Shen Miao for a long time. Zhou Junji looked at Li Xiaoluo coldly and said, "Explain? Who are you? I need to explain to you." Li Xiaoluo's eyes turned cold, and then he said coldly, "He got the money from Zhou Junji's house and snatched Shen Miao from him." Now Zhou Junji has long been of no use value in Li Xiaoluo's eyes. Any investment projects mentioned before were all for idiots. In Li Xiaoluo's eyes, Zhou Junji is a dead person and can't lie for a few more days. Li Xiaoluo will never take advantage of him again. Chapter 27 Toad, do you see yourself clearly now? After hearing Li Xiaoluo's words, Zhou Junji couldn't hold back his face. Although he really wanted to earn pocket money from Li Xiaoluo, he actually never took Li Xiaoluo seriously at all. He always thought that Li Xiaoluo was just a fool and was just his cash machine. Other cities dare not say this, but in this city, their family is deeply rooted, but they have absolute say. But now he is treated with this attitude by Li Xiaoluo, especially in front of Shen Miao. He, Mr. Zhou, doesn't want to lose face, right? So let's not talk about what is a scam or not. He must make Li Xiaoluo look good today. Looking at the beautiful Shen Miao beside him, Zhou Junji's eyes suddenly lit up. Since Li Xiaoluo dared to snatch the woman he liked in advance, and he still has this attitude now, then he would snatch the woman Shen Miao back and let him fully experience his energy. Thinking of this, Zhou Junji walked a few steps to Shen Miao, stretched out a hand and said, "Shen Miao, we met last time. Today I will formally introduce myself. My name is Zhou Junji, and my father is the chairman of the Zhou Group, with a net worth of over 10 billion. My uncle is a high-ranking provincial government official." But before Zhou Junji finished speaking, Shen Miao immediately took a step back, hid behind Li Xiaoluo and said, "I'm sorry, I'm not interested in getting to know you. If you have anything, you'd better settle it with brother Xialuo." Zhou Junji was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood because he could feel the disgust in Shen Miao's eyes when he looked at him. In fact, he felt it the last time he was in the hospital. In fact, it's all because when he went to the hospital last time, Zhou Junji felt that it was a sure thing to take down Shen Miao. No matter how bad his attitude was and what he said was unpleasant, Shen Miao would definitely compromise in the end, but he never thought that someone was one step ahead of him, and his attitude and handling methods were much better than his, so Shen Miao hated him very much at that time. But Zhou Junji is not convinced. He and Li Xiaoluo are both the same. They are both people who want to spend money to buy her. How come she has such a good attitude towards Li Xiaoluo? Zhou Junji stopped beating around the bush and looked directly at Shen Miao and said, "My father is my only son. As my woman, You will be the young mistress of the Zhou family from now on. Whether you want to be in business or politics. Bang. This time, before Zhou Junji finished speaking, Li Xiaoluo suddenly took action. No, it was a kick. Li Xiaoluo directly kicked Zhou Junji away. Li Xiaoluo was very fast and powerful. Zhou Junji didn't even have time to react before he flew out. Although Li Xiaoluo is not a superpower now, his body is already very strong, and after being strengthened by the system, he is already more powerful than the strongest soldier king. To deal with a pampered young man like Zhou Junji, one finger is enough to deal with him. Moreover, Li Xiaoluo was not in a hurry to deal with Zhou Junji before, but he was not in a hurry and did not want to disrupt his plan. I also wanted Zhou Junji to experience the fun of the apocalypse, and letting him die too early and too easily would be an advantage to him, but now Zhou Junji dares to miss his woman in person. This is the reverse of Li Xiaoluo, so Li Xiaoluo took action directly. As for the consequences of hitting someone, Li Xiaoluo is not worried. Anyway, there is only one day before the end of the world is coming, and he has almost all the supplies he should prepare. At worst, he will hide in the Lord's mansion for a night. However, Shen Miaomio on the side was very worried about Li Xiaoluo, although she did not have deep feelings for Li Xiaoluo yet. But she was grateful to Li Xiaoluo from the bottom of her heart and didn't want anything to happen to Li Xiaoluo. She quickly took Li Xiaoluo's hand and said nervously, "Brother Xiaoluo, please don't be impulsive, okay? It's illegal to hit someone. What will happen if he calls the police? Don't worry, I will take care of it." Li Xiaoluo directly hugged Shen Miaomio's soft and slender waist. Li Xiaoluo is still very useful in caring about the future Ice and Snow Queen. Shen Miaomio's face suddenly turned red with embarrassment when Li Xiaoluo and Shen Miaomio were flirting. Zhou Junji, who was kicked out by Li Xiaoluo and was stunned for a while, finally recovered. In fact, Li Xiaoluo had a lot of experience in fighting in the apocalypse in his last life. If he really wanted to kill Zhou Junji just now, Zhou Junji would already be a corpse now. However, Li Xiaoluo still didn't kill him just now. If such a scumbag brought trouble to him, Li Xiaoluo felt it was completely unnecessary. As long as one more day passes, Zhou Junji will be as weak and pitiful as an ant in his eyes. Zhou Junji endured the scratches on his body and stood up from the ground, looking at Li Xiaoluo like a man-eating beast. "Li Xiaoluo, you dare to kick me?" Li Xiaoluo smiled playfully and said, "Why, Mr. Zhou, you are spitting shit in front of me. What's wrong if I kick you? If you can't beat me now, should you cry and call the police and ask the police for help? Or you can go home crying and ask an adult at home for help, you." Zhou Junji stretched out his hand that was still bleeding after being scratched on the ground, pointed at Li Xiaoluo and was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood, but for a moment I was speechless. Originally, he really wanted to do that, either call the police or ask his family to deal with Li Xiaoluo. In short, he wanted to cut Li Xiaoluo into pieces, but after Li Xiaoluo said this, it was really hard for him to call the police or find an adult at home. We are all young masters. If we lose in a fight over a woman, we will call the police or find an adult at home. Mr. Zhou will lose face after this news spreads. Therefore, for the sake of face, Zhou Junji made up his mind that he must regain this situation by himself. So Zhou Junji said coldly, "Li Xiaoluo, I haven't finished what I just said. You are so angry. Maybe you are afraid that Shen Miaomio will make a choice. After all, you are a little rich, but my family is both rich and powerful. You are more powerful than is it there?" Li Xiaoluo smiled and ignored Zhou Junji. He just looked at the woman with his arms around the waist and said, "Girl, some people just want toads to eat swan meat. You should do a good deed and tell the toads what you think." If it were another woman, Li Xiaoluo might have felt that what Zhou Junji said was very reasonable. After all, this is the social atmosphere, but he still has confidence in Shen Miaomio, and Shen Miaomio's friendliness is also there. But Shen Miaomio didn't even look at Zhou Junji, and said to Li Xiaoluo, "Brother Xiaoluo, I don't want to know him, so no matter how rich or high-ranking his family is, it has nothing to do with me." In Shen Miaomio's view, Li Xiaoluo may have some money, but he definitely doesn't have the advantage of having money in Zhou Junji's family. But now Li Xiaoluo not only dares to beat Zhou Junji, but also trusts himself very much. Shen Miaomio felt very grateful for Li Xiaoluo's unconditional trust. In fact, many such things happened among her classmates. Some girls were pursued by the rich second generation, and then their boyfriends became unconfident and began to concentrate. In the end, the rich second generation broke up on their own without taking action. Li Xiaoluo looked at Zhou Junji and said, "Toad, do you see yourself clearly now, Shen?" Maya Omeo couldn't help but smile sweetly. She thought it was really hurtful for Lee Charlotte to curse. Zhou Junji was completely angry and said angrily, "Lee Xiaoluo, you have to think clearly. Last time you came to me to talk about cooperation, I have found a good project that will definitely make money through my connections. If you invest 100 million, you can make 1 billion, and if you invest 1 billion, you can make 1 billion 20 billion. Are you sure you want to offend me over a woman?" If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 28. You can call me brother-in-law if you like. I'll satisfy you. Shabby. Lee Xiaoluo glanced at Zhou Junji, then ignored Zhou Junji and returned to Villa Number 1. With Shen Maya Omeo in his arms, Lee Xiaoluo was really curious about how Zhou Junji's evil pen survived to such a big size. I really thought my money was so easy to be cheated. Invest 1 billion and earn 20 billion. Even I don't dare to fool you like this. Seeing Lee Xiaoluo leaving with Shen Maya Omeo in his arms, Zhou Junji knew that he was completely broken. Although he didn't want to call the police or ask his family for help, he had plenty of ways to deal with this. This is his territory and no one can save him. Hey, property manager Liu? Didn't you say last time that Lee Xiaoluo from Villa Number 1 only rented Villa Number 1 and did not buy Villa Number 1? Give me the phone number of the original landlord of Villa Number 1. His house now it is being remodeled indiscriminately, and I must tell the owner. Hey, is this Ms. Zhou Xiaotong? Don't ask me how I know your phone number. I am the son of the chairman of Zhou Group. I have a deal. Let's talk business with you, Tiger. Are there any of your men who are going to go abroad in the near future? Prepare the people. I may have to use them to get rid of one of them. In the future, you and the Zhou family, the cooperation with the group will definitely be more pleasant. After making several phone calls in a row, Zhou Junji's anger finally dissipated. He looked at Villa Number 1 with cold eyes. Lee Xiaoluo, just let you dance around for a few more days, and I will take care of you bit by bit. Unfortunately, what Zhou Junji didn't know was that Lee Xiaoluo thought the same as him. Sometimes killing people is actually very simple, but the most painful thing is killing people and killing their hearts. Afternoon, Lee Xiaoluo drove Shen Maya Omeo to the People's Hospital in a sports car. After getting off the car from the parking lot, Lee Xiaoluo walked very slowly along the way. Lee Gao, friendliness level 25, potential value 12, special ability, none. Wang Yuxia, friendliness level 42. Potential value 7, special ability, none. Zhang Debio, friendliness level 22, potential value 18, special ability, none. AI Melee, friendliness level 58, potential value 8, special ability, none. The reason why Lee Xiaoluo walks slowly is because every time he sees someone, he will subconsciously use his exploratory eyes to take a look. What is most important in the 21st century? Many people blurt out that it is talent in the post-apocalyptic world, especially in the later stages of the apocalypse. Talents are also the most important in the future. The leaders of large-scale shelters will basically all be powerful superpowers, and the one with the highest status among them must also be a superpower in order to win over more superpowers. Many forces are willing to pay any price, otherwise, the weak will only become meat on other people's plates. In Lee Xiaoluo's memory, the probability of human survivors awakening supernatural powers is actually very low. It can be said to be 1 in 100,000 or even a million now that Lee Xiaoluo has an exploratory eye. It is actually a very big advantage to be able to discover people who have supernatural talents but have not yet awakened them in advance. Unfortunately, it is precisely because the proportion of people who can awaken supernatural powers is so low. If you want to find one at random, it may really be like finding a needle in a haystack. It all depends on luck. Anyway, Lee Xiaoluo looked at it all the way, whether it was adults, ants, or children of several years old, but he didn't find even one person who was waiting to awaken his superpower. Moreover, Lee Xiaoluo also found that among the people he saw along the way, the male friendliness towards him was basically very low, and many of them were even lower than 20. Passerby, male, can you blame us for the low friendliness? Who asked you to bring such a beautiful woman out? How can I have a crush on you as a single person? Women are generally much more friendly. It turns out that same-sex people repel each other and opposite-sex people attract each other, but in fact, even if this problem was not discovered, Li Xiaoluo had already decided that the people he would take in this life would definitely be women, and the core members of his team would also be women. Don't ask why. Asking is a hobby. In fact, this kind of thing is easy to understand. As long as you have a thorough understanding of human nature, you will know that women are naturally less ambitious than men, and they are better controlled than men, especially after the apocalypse. Most women will no longer have countless men as their licking dogs. Instead, they can only become men's playthings, so as long as the bullying is not too severe, women will basically not betray. Of course, the prerequisite for not betraying is women who have been screened by Li Xiaoluo using the system. Those women with vicious natures don't count. It was too late for Li Xiaoluo to realize that he had the ability to detect the eye. There was not much time left for Li Xiaoluo to keep looking for people. He could only look at the people he met and just try his luck, but it's not a pity for Li Xiaoluo. Anyway, even if he doesn't find other talents, it's enough for him to have sisters Shen Miao. All the way to Reward, Li Xiaoluo met Shen Miao's sister Shen Yanian. Brother Xialuo, this is my sister Shen Yanian. Yanian, this is brother Xialuo who helped us. You can just call him brother Xialuo from now on. Shen Miao introduced Li Xiaoluo and Shen Yanian to each other, and then said, Brother Xialuo, you guys have a chat first. I'll go find the doctor and ask if Yanian can be discharged from the hospital and go home to recuperate. Shen Yanian's face was still a little pale, but she immediately said on the bed, Sister, I feel that my health is much better. There is no need to ask the doctor. Let's go home. Living in the hospital is not comfortable at all, and the smell is terrible. In fact, Shen Yanian naturally doesn't dislike the smell of the hospital, but she doesn't want to spend more money. Not many people can afford to stay in a hospital these days. The reason why she can afford to live now, she naturally understands why. It's all because of the man in front of me. Shen Miao looked at Shen Yanian tenderly. Yanian, don't be anxious. I'll ask the doctor for his opinion first. And, we won't go home after we are discharged from the hospital. We will go to your brother Xialuo then. Recuperate. Shen Yanian's expression changed, and she glanced at her sister blankly. Shen Miao seemed a little guilty and did not dare to look at Shen Yanian, and then left immediately to find a doctor. After Shen Miao left the ward, Li Xiaoluo was looking at Shen Yanian with shining eyes. Shen Yanian is in her prime. Although her face is a little pale, she can still tell that she looks sweet. She is as tall as Shen Miao, but her figure may be a few levels worse than Shen Miao. After all, Shen Miao's perfect S-shaped figure with convex front and back, as well as that proud 36E, are not something that just any woman can have. What really makes Li Xiaoluo's eyes hot is not only the identity and beauty of his sister-in-law, what kind of beauty, but what really makes his eyes hot is what he sees with his exploratory eyes. Shen Yanian, friendliness level 68, potential value 89, special ability, plant power, to be awakened. After looking at so many ordinary people, the probing eyes finally saw another person with supernatural talents. Although this person had made a reservation long ago, Li Xiaoluo was still very open-minded, especially Shen Yanian's potential is very high, worth having. HMPH, don't you know it's very rude to stare at a girl like this? Just when Li Xiaoluo was looking at Shen Yanian stared at Li Xiaoluo coldly and said. Li Xiaoluo smiled and was too lazy to pay attention to the child. Now Shen Yanian is a sick child and can only be at the mercy of herself. Should I call you brother-in-law from now on? Seeing that Li Xiaoluo didn't speak, Shen Yanian spoke again. Her character was obviously much more lively than her sister. You can call me brother-in-law if you like. I'll satisfy you. Li Xiaoluo said nonchalantly. Shen Yanian's eyes widened. What a shameless man. Chapter 29. You don't have to pay in the end anyway. Shen Yanian stared at Li Xiaoluo for a while, but finally gave up because Li Xiaoluo had no change in expression at all and no sense of shame at all. Shen Yanian rolled her eyes, then put on a pitiful look. Brother Xialuo, from the first moment I saw you, I knew you were a kind-hearted and good person. You are the good person. Li Xiaoluo couldn't help but complain. Sorry, that's the wrong choice of words. Shen Yanian hurriedly spat out her tongue cutely, almost forgetting that no one likes to be given a good person card these days. After Shen Yanian apologized, she continued, in short, Brother Xialuo, you are a very great person. You spent so much money to save my life. My sister and I are very grateful to you. We will definitely return the money to you in the future, so can you not embarrass my sister, Li Xialuo said calmly. Okay, Shen. Yan'an's eyes were filled with joy and she said excitedly, Brother Luo, is it true, Li? Xialuo nodded and said, as long as you can return the money to me today, I will consider it a good thing. You, Shen. Yan'an knew she was being fooled. If they could come up with so much money today, how could they use Li Xiaoluo's money, huh? I'm the one who's sick anyway, and I'm the one who's spending your money. If you're in need of a woman, just look for me, Li. Charlotte suddenly looked at Shen Yan'an with strange eyes, making Shen Yan'an feel a little uncomfortable. Why? Are you looking at me like this? You are not allowed to bully my sister anyway, Li. Xiaoluo smiled and said, so you are attracted to me and want to compete with your sister for a man. Puff hearing Li Xiaoluo's words, Shen Yan'an was so angry that she almost vomited blood. This BD is too narcissistic. Are you still attracted to him? Are you competing with your sister for a man? I think he just wants all the sisters to win, but Shen Yan'an has nothing to do with Li Xiaoluo, because she knows her sister's character and has been very strong since she was a child. She will not accept charity or help from anyone, but she can give everything for her family. Now that her sister has accepted Li Xiaoluo's money, she will give Li Xiaoluo what she wants in order to repay her kindness, and there is nothing she can do to stop her. I originally wanted to pretend to be pitiful and use morals to kidnap Li Xiaoluo and make him give up the idea of playing with his sister. Who would have thought that this man is simply incompetent? Shen Yan'an pouted her mouth, feeling a deep sense of powerlessness. I was also very frustrated, feeling that I was dragging my sister down. Otherwise, it would be no exaggeration to say that her sister is as beautiful as heaven and earth. With her appearance, she will definitely be able to find a prince riding a white horse. Moreover, her sister is also a famous college student, a perfect academic, and she can have a bright future even without relying on a man. If she had a choice, Shen Yan'an would rather not take Li Xiaoluo's money than treat a disease, but she was in a coma at the time and had no choice. While Shen Yan'an was thinking wildly, the door to the ward was pushed open, and Shen Miaomiao walked in with a female doctor. Shen Miaomiao looked at Li Xiaoluo and said, Brother Xiaoluo, this is Dr. Song. I have consulted Dr. Song. She said that my sister can go home to recuperate, as long as she takes good care of her. Dr. Song next to Shen Miaomiao looked at Li Xiaoluo, smiled and said, Li Xiaoluo, you haven't come to the hospital these days since you paid the surgery fee. You are still a bit incompetent as a boyfriend. Dr. Song was very impressed with Li Xiaoluo, mainly because she was very impressed with sister Shen Miaomiao. As Shen Yan'an's attending doctor, she also sympathized with his sister's plight when the two sisters could not afford the medical expenses. But then I didn't expect that things would turn around, and Li Xiaoluo, Shen Miaomiao's boyfriend, made his debut. He was not afraid of being dragged down by Shen Miaomiao's sister, and paid all the medical expenses on the spot at that time. This matter was still hot on the hospital for several days, and was discussed by doctors and nurses in the hospital for several days, especially some female nurses. They originally sympathized with Shen Miaomiao, but after Li Xiaoluo appeared, they envied Shen Miaomiao. After all, what woman wouldn't want a man as affectionate as Charlotte Li, who can spend millions at a time? After Dr. Song finished speaking, before Li Xiaoluo could answer, she continued, but Miaomiao said that you have been very busy with work recently, which is understandable. Li Xiaoluo glanced at Shen Miaomiao. Yes, this girl also knows how to protect her image in front of outsiders. Although Li Xiaoluo doesn't care what others think of him, Li Xiaoluo didn't talk nonsense and said, Dr. Song, since Yan'an can go back to recuperate, then you can help make arrangements. Also, let's see if we need any medicine, and if we should ask doctors and nurses to take care of her. In short, everything is up to you. Use everything for the best, as long as Yan'an can get well soon. Li Xiaoluo is busy these days and really doesn't have time to cultivate a relationship with his future go-getter, so Li Xiaoluo doesn't mind showing off now. After all, things that can be solved with money are just casual things in Li Xiaoluo's opinion. Sure enough, after Li Xiaoluo finished speaking, Shen Miaomiao looked at Li Xiaoluo with a touch of tenderness in her eyes. Shen Yan'an is the person closest to her. Li Xiaoluo treats Shen Yan'an well, and even being nicer to her can make her moved and benefited. System. Prompt. Shen Miaomiao was moved by the host. Her friendliness +2, and her current friendliness towards the host is 78, even. Shen Yan'an on the hospital bed looked at Li Xiaoluo with something strange in her eyes. System. Prompt. Shen Yan'an was moved by the host. Her friendliness +3, And her current friendliness towards the host is 71. Haha. Li Xiaoluo didn't expect that the system is quite user-friendly, and there are prompts to improve the friendliness. It's a pity that Shen Miaomiao's friendship level almost reached 80, so he could sign a contract with Shen Miaomiao directly at the same time. Dr. Song on the side kept nodding. She was quite fond of Li Xiaoluo's behavior last time, but now she has a better impression of Li Xiaoluo. Dr. Song said, "We will definitely let you take the medicines back. If you can use the best, then it will be good. In this way, Shen Yanyan will indeed recover faster." As for the doctor, forget it, there is no need. If you have the conditions, you can hire a nurse to take care of me, Shen Miaomiao said quickly. Dr. Song, there is no need to hire a nurse. I have learned how to change dressings these days. I can just take care of my sister by myself. When Li Xiaoluo heard Shen Miaomiao's words, it was okay. He originally wanted to gain your favor, so he didn't let himself show it, right? Of course, he is not actually doing it just to gain favor. The main reason is that after the end of the world, he also needs someone who knows some medical skills to be his imperial doctor. Originally, Li Xiaoluo wanted to abduct a few doctors and nurses back, but without legitimate reasons. It was really hard to force them. We don't need a doctor now, so we can just bring a nurse back first. So Li Xiaoluo glared at Shen Miaomiao, and then said to Dr. Song, "Dr. Song, don't listen to Miaomiao, I have the final say at home, please. Help me find a nurse. See if there is anyone who wants to go. The skill should be good and the character should be good. The salary is 10,000 a day, and food and accommodation are included." Li Xiaoluo is addicted to this, which is a daily salary of 10,000 yuan. This is the salary for Lao Wang, and the others you don't have to pay in the end anyway. Chapter 30 An Unexpected Surprise. The best head nurse Qin Yumei. Sure enough, when they heard the salary of 10,000 a day, several women in the ward were shocked. Even Dr. Song swallowed her saliva. She was thinking that she could also work as a nurse, but in the end, he had integrity, and Dr. Song finally resisted the idea of downgrading himself. It didn't take long for the little nurses in the hospital to get excited. As long as there were free female nurses, they rushed to Shen Yanyan's ward and let Li Xiaoluo choose. After all, Dr. Song couldn't directly assign such a good thing to anyone, otherwise she would offend other nurses, so she simply let the news out and asked the nurses who wanted to go to Li Xiaoluo to let Li Xiaoluo choose a salary of 10,000 yuan a day and living in a big villa. Which female nurse wouldn't be moved by such treatment? After all, this day's salary can cover them for several months. If they can work for Li Xiaoluo for a month, they won't be able to earn that much money for several years. Soon, Shen Yanyan's ward became very lively. A group of beauties, big and small, each with their own merits, fat, thin, and attractive in uniforms, all looked at Li Xiaoluo eagerly. She is indeed a beauty, big and small. Some female nurses are so big that their uniforms can hardly hold them. Some of them are flat, which saves a lot of fabric. Zhang Hongyan, friendliness 60, potential 12, special ability, none. Li Xiaoluo, friendliness level 46, potential value 10, special ability, none. Li Xiaoluo spent a lot of money, not only to find a skilled nurse, but also to see if there were any special talents. However, from the way these nurses looked at him, Li Xiaoluo felt that it might be quite simple and quite tempting to get special services. But if you want to find special talents with supernatural talents, there is basically no hope. Head nurse, why are you here? Why are you here to rob us? It's over. The head nurse is here. We may have no hope of this pie-in-the-sky good thing. Humph, what are you afraid of? Isn't the head nurse just a bit more sexy and has bigger breasts? But she is an old divorced woman, so we can't compete with her. You. BD, what are you talking about? The head nurse's medical skills are the best among us nurses. If others are looking for nurses to take care of patients, they will definitely choose her first. And the head nurse is only 26 years old, so she is an old woman. I am an 18-year-old beautiful girl. I am not an old woman at 26, just. When Li Xiaoluo looked at all the female nurses in the ward with his exploratory eyes, and found no one with supernatural talents, he planned to randomly pick one who looked pleasing to his eye. Then a woman wearing a nurse's uniform walked in at the door of the ward, and the appearance of this woman suddenly made many nurses feel threatened. She seemed to be the head nurse, and this new head nurse actually made Li Xiaoluo's eyes shine. She is the best royal sister, just like a ripe peach. Li Xiaoluo subconsciously threw a probing eye over Qin Yumei, Friendliness level 66, potential value 88, special ability, healing ability, to be awakened. What? An unexpected surprise. This is what Li Xialuo feels. He didn't expect that he would find someone with supernatural talents, and he was also a very important wet nurse. I took a look at the head nurse named Qin Yumei. Her spectacular huge headlights really deserve the title of nanny. Ahem. Don't think wrongly, however, although the healing power is an auxiliary power, it is also really good. It is said that when the healing power comes later, it can not only cure diseases, but also regenerate severed limbs and resurrect people who are on the verge of death. Who wouldn't want such a good treasure? And those with auxiliary powers such as wet nurses, space powers, planting powers, etc. are basically people who pose no threat in the previous life. If every person in power could get these people, it would be worth $1,000, because there is no need to worry about them rebelling. Head nurse? That's up to you. I'll take care of Shen Yan'an later. The salary is 10,000 yuan a day. Do you have any objection, Li? Xialuo pointed at Qin Yumei and said casually. Qin Yumei was stunned for a moment when she just came in originally. She was busy with work just now, so she found out the news a little late, but no one would struggle with money, so she still chose to come and have a look with the mentality of giving it a try. Unexpectedly, she was hit by this huge pie as soon as she came in. While Li Xialuo was in the hospital, Zhou Junji used some means to meet Zhou Xiaotong in a coffee shop not far from the warehouse Li Xialuo rented. Since Zhou Junji wants to make money from Li Xialuo, he will naturally investigate Li Xialuo's background and situation, so he knew that Li Xialuo just rented villa number 1. And he also knew that he hired several people from Zhou Xiaotong to help him. He also knew that Zhou Xiaotong and Li Xialuo had a close relationship. It was not just a simple boss-secretary relationship. It's just that the more clearly he investigates Li Xialuo, the less Zhou Junji understands Li Xialuo, because he has no idea where Li Xialuo's money comes from, nor what Li Xialuo does with purchasing so much food and supplies every day. But after being angry with Li Xialuo today, Zhou Junji no longer cares about fighting with Li Xialuo. He just wants to use all means to deal with Li Xialuo. However, in Zhou Junji's opinion, it is not difficult to kill Li Xialuo, but he doesn't want to make a fuss if he doesn't have to, and just killing Li Xialuo would not relieve his anger at all, so he planned to slowly kill Li Xialuo. The first step was that since Li Xialuo robbed the woman he liked, he had to give it back, so he found Zhou Xiaotong. Although he knew that Zhou Xiaotong was with Li Xialuo because of money, Li Xialuo might not care too much about this kind of woman. Just like Zhou Junji himself, he would sometimes take the initiative to give these women to his friends for fun. However, according to the information he got, Li Xialuo is still quite enthusiastic about Zhou Xiaotong, so if he recruits Zhou Xiaotong now, he will definitely slap Li Xialuo in the face. But when Zhou Junji really saw Zhou Xiaotong now, Zhou Junji finally understood why Li Xialuo had been with Zhou Xiaotong these days. Not even going to Shen Miao, Zhou Xiaotong's tall figure, beautiful face, especially those beautiful legs wrapped in stockings, can indeed arouse men's desire. This made Zhou Junji more determined to snatch Zhou Xiaotong over, even if it means paying a little more. It's worth it. Mr. Zhou, I wonder why you have an appointment with me, Zhou. Xiaotong sat on the sofa opposite Zhou Junji. A trace of disgust flashed in Zhou Xiaotong's eyes at the young master, who was looking at her unscrupulously with a cynical expression. Don't worry, Miss Zhou. In fact, your boss and I know each other, and I heard your boss say you are very beautiful, so I came here to take a look today, Zhou. Xiaotong's expression changed, but she said nothing, waiting for Zhou Junji to continue. Sure enough, Zhou Junji continued, Miss Zhou should understand what I mean, right? I saw Miss Zhou at a glance. Miss Zhou, you will definitely get more after following me than following your boss. Chapter 31. The secretary has something to do, but nothing to do. Zhou Xiaotong's delicate face changed into a cold expression, and she said in a cold voice, Mr. Zhou, I don't understand what you mean. Could you please make it clearer? You know my boss? So my boss is tired of playing with me and wants to transfer me to Mr. Zhou, or is Mr. Zhou an enemy of my boss, and is he here to poach my boss? A trace of embarrassment flashed across Zhou Junji's face. Zhou Xiaotong was beautiful, but she was still a little inferior to Shen Miao. Besides, no matter how beautiful a woman like this is for money, in his eyes she is considered inferior. Zhou Junji said with a cold face, you don't need to know too much, just know that you can get a lot of money and resources by being my woman. Seeing that Zhou Junji didn't want to talk, Josiah Tong actually didn't bother to talk nonsense to him anymore. Stand up straight away. Zhou Junji thought that Josiah Tong was attracted and would come over and sit in his arms like those other women before, but he didn't expect that Josiah Tong walked directly outside after leaving his seat. Zhou Junji was stunned for a moment and then became angry. He stood up suddenly and said loudly, "Josiah Tong, the market value of my Zhou group exceeds 10 billion, and I am the only successor of the Zhou group. As long as you agree to follow me, you may become my righteous young mistress of the Zhou family. Are you sure you want to leave?" The tall and attractive Josiah Tong turned around gracefully in high heels, then smiled coldly at Zhou Junji and said, "Mr. Zhou, to be honest, you are more annoying than my boss." Then, without waiting for Zhou Junji to speak, Josiah Tong continued, "When my boss is looking for a woman, he should at least be honest with her and clearly mark the price without cheating. And you, Mr. Zhou, don't you think that I am a fool? If I, a woman who works as a mistress for my boss, betray my boss and follow you again because of money, will a big family like yours accept me? So, don't say that I hate a young master like you. Even if I really want to be a dragon and a phoenix, I won't believe your lies." Shen Yan'an is going through the discharge procedures. Li Xialuo was very considerate and personally accompanied Shen Miao in her busy schedule, which made Shen Miao look at Li Xialuo more tenderly. In fact, although Li Xialuo really wants to get closer to Shen Miao, after all, Shen Miao will be one of his relies on in the future, but his main purpose is to contact more people, and then use the exploratory eye to see if he can discover any special talents. After all, the probability is small, but what if, isn't Qin Yumi an unexpected surprise? It's a pity that although there are really many people in the hospital, Li Xiaoluo checked the information of at least thousands of people, which made Li Xiaoluo almost want to vomit, but there is still no one who makes him want to stock up. It's not that people with supernatural talents haven't been discovered before. In fact, after seeing so many people, Li Xiaoluo also discovered a new person with supernatural talents, Li Yongqiang, friendliness level 26, potential value 66, special ability, firepower, to be awakened. It was a man dressed as a migrant worker. He looked in his 40s, his skin was red from the sun, and he was very inconspicuous. Li Xiaoluo even wondered if he had been exposed to too much sun at the construction site, so he had the firepower talent. However, there are also 3 levels of superpowers. First of all, according to the classification of the superpowers themselves, superpowers of the metal, wood, water, fire, and earth systems are considered relatively common. Superpowers ice, snow, thunder, space, speed, etc. are considered special powers under normal circumstances. People who have awakened special powers are definitely more powerful than those who have awakened ordinary powers. Secondly, the talents of each superpower are also different. This is easy to understand. It is also a 9-year compulsory education, but some people are different. This is reflected in the exploration eye. The higher the potential value, the more powerful the person will be in the future. Just like Shen Miao, her potential value is as high as 99 points, a truly proud daughter of heaven, and the newly discovered Li Yongqiang has a potential value of 66. Therefore, Li Xiaoluo had no intention of recruiting the newly discovered man named Li Yongqiang. Firstly, he doesn't like fire-type abilities, and secondly, Li Yongqiang's potential is not high and he will have no future prospects. Of course, Li Xiaoluo will not tell others. In fact, he does not recruit men at all. After a busy day in the hospital, sisters Shen Miao and head nurse Qin Yumi came to Villa number 1 in Longting. Wow, brother-in-law, this villa is so beautiful. Are we really going to live here in the future? It can be seen that Shen Yan'an and her sister have completely different personalities, especially after her impression of Li Xiaoluo changed and she became familiar with Li Xiaoluo. She became much bolder in her speech. At first, he called her brother Xialuo, but on the way, he suddenly called her brother-in-law and asked her to be affectionate. At that time, Shen Miao was embarrassed and wanted to deal with Xiaonizi. In fact, Shen Miao didn't know that Shen Yan'an was also worried about her. Shen Yan'an knew that her sister only wanted to repay her kindness and would definitely become Li Xiaoluo's woman, so since she couldn't change the facts, she had to take good care of that BD Li Xiaoluo for her sister and let him treat her well. The first step, of course, is to declare sovereignty. Otherwise, if other women didn't say anything, just the sexy young head nurse next to her, she would be afraid that Li Xiaoluo wouldn't be able to control her. Josiah Tong pushed the door in wearing high heels, and her beautiful legs wrapped in flesh-colored stockings first caught Li Xiaoluo's eyes. Looking up, After being together with Li Xiaoluo for a few days, Josiah Tong's eyes are so charming that they seem to be dripping with water. She is really becoming more and more attractive. However, Josiah Tong's complexion is getting better and better, but Li Xiaoluo was always struggling before. Even Li Xiaoluo had the idea of changing places to live first in the morning and take a good rest. Living with a woman like Josiah Tong, he couldn't help it even though he knew it would be a waste of money. Fortunately, the system is powerful, and after strengthening his body, he is now confident. After all, the system has strengthened his body 10 times, and his waist has also been strengthened 10 times. Boss, today's tasks were all completed according to your instructions, and a total of 12 million was spent. Josiah Tong walked up to Li Xiaoluo, and her face that was still smiling immediately straightened up. She didn't know why she was angry. Li Xiaoluo's intention in the morning was very clear. He was just to take care of her temporarily for a few days. He had no intention of staying with her for a long time, but when faced with Zhou Zhenji's temptation of money and power, she just didn't want to agree and was instinctively disgusted. A chaste and fierce woman, Josiah Tong felt that she was definitely not the one, otherwise she would not have followed Li Xiaoluo so unclearly. However, Josiah Tong believed that she was not a casual woman. If she was still following Li Xiaoluo, she would definitely not be able to betray Li Xiaoluo, especially a young man like Zhou Zhenji, who instinctively made her not have a good impression. Although Li Xiaoluo suddenly became rich, he was her colleague after all, so Josiah Tong did not dislike Li Xiaoluo like he did those young masters coupled with a couple's love for a day and 100 days. Josiah Tong really has some feelings for Li Xiaoluo. Li Xiaoluo naturally didn't know what Josiah Tong was thinking. He couldn't wait to let Josiah Tong see his strength. Boss, I haven't changed my shoes yet. After Josiah Tong reported her work, she originally wanted to change into high heels, but just when she bent over, Li Xiaoluo pressed up against her from behind. Li Xiaoluo breathed heavily and said, "Don't change your shoes yet. Your secretary's work hasn't been finished yet. Wearing high heels will make you feel better." Josiah Tong turned her head and gave Li Xiaoluo a charming look. A secretary can do something when she has something to do, and when she has nothing to do, she has heard of it too, but she didn't continue to change shoes. Chapter 32: The surprise brought by Josiah Tong. Amid 10,586 words, more than an hour later everything finally calmed down. "General, bring me a bottle of water." Not long after, the general held a bottle of mineral water in his mouth, shook his head and squeezed open the door and walked in, passing the mineral water to Li Xiaoluo. The general gave Li Xiaoluo a resentful look. "Master, I am not a human, but you are a real dog. It turns out that I was trained to hold things for you just to wait for this moment." Although Li Xiaoluo's body had strengthened a lot, the physical energy he had just consumed was still a bit high, so he picked up the mineral water and drank it all in one gulp. "General, go get my lighter and cigarettes." "What's that look in your eyes? You feel aggrieved when I ask you to do something small. Okay, I'll find you a beautiful BCH tomorrow too. Woof. Woof woof." When the general heard this, he was shocked all over. His eyes suddenly shone brightly. His legs no longer hurt, his waist was not sore, and he felt more energetic at work. He called Li Xiaoluo to wait, and immediately ran out and came in holding a cigarette and a lighter. "Boss, did you take that little blue pill today? I heard that taking that pill is bad for your health." Josiah Tong lay on Li Xiaoluo, so tired that he didn't even want to move his fingers. His delicate and beautiful face was rosy and shiny, making Josiah Tong look even more charming. Li Xiaoluo lit a cigarette, stroked Josiah Tong's fair back with both hands, and said proudly, "This is your boss, my real strength. No need to take any medicine." Josiah Tong showed obvious disbelief in her eyes. After being together for so many days, how could she not know Li Xiaoluo's strength? Sometimes he does perform exceptionally well, but whether it is bravery or time, it is far less than 1/10 of what it is today. Li Xiaoluo said coldly, "What's that look in your eyes? Don't believe me? Let's continue after a while. Even if we take the medicine by then, the effect will be almost gone." "No, I believe you. I want to rest tonight." Josiah Tong said hurriedly. A wise man knows the current affairs. She doesn't want to die in bed tonight, so she can only surrender immediately. Li Xiaoluo nodded with satisfaction. Before today, his words would not have been so powerful. Men really have to be outstanding, and women will be more obedient. Josiah Tong was becoming more and more satisfied with Li Xiaoluo, and Li Xiaoluo quietly used his probing eyes on Josiah Tong. If her friendliness satisfies Li Xiaoluo, Li Xiaoluo will consider whether to keep Josiah Tong when the end of the world comes. Li Xiaoluo's previous thinking had actually been influenced by his previous life. In his previous life, ordinary survivors who had not awakened their powers were ants, so Li Xiaoluo didn't want to carry any burden with him in this life, even if it was a beautiful woman. However, after the system was activated and the probing eyes became available, Li Xiaoluo realized a problem. There are too few people with supernatural talents. In fact, people with supernatural talents are like today's billionaires. Although there are many rich people, there are only a very small number of people with a net worth of over 100 million. Therefore, although ordinary survivors after the apocalypse live like ants, most of them in a shelter or force are actually ordinary survivors at the lowest level. Even in most shelters or forces, except for the leader who is a superpower, the other members are ordinary survivors. After all, if there is no absolute strength, one mountain cannot tolerate two tigers, and if there are no ordinary survivors in a shelter, who will do some of the dirty work in the shelter? Who else will serve as cannon fodder for those in power? Josiah Tong. Friendliness level 86, potential value 90, special ability, water power, to be awakened. Li Xiaoluo looked at Josiah Tong blankly, unable to believe what he saw. Josiah Tong actually also has supernatural talents, and the potential value is also very high. As long as he can grow up, he will definitely be a master, but Li Xiaoluo had never heard of it in his previous life, so in Li Xiaoluo's subconscious mind, Josiah Tong is an ordinary survivor after the apocalypse. But after thinking about it, Li Xiaoluo suddenly understood the key. First of all, Li Xiaoluo was an ordinary survivor in his previous life. Although he survived for more than a year in the apocalypse, he didn't go to many places at all. The only people with supernatural powers he had seen in his previous life were the two sisters Shenmai Omi. Oh no, there's also the general's dog. As for the superpowers in other shelters, or the masters on the superpower rankings, he has basically only heard of them. Moreover, after the apocalypse, some people with powers basically use code names, just like they gave themselves online names before the apocalypse. Therefore, it is actually quite normal for me to have never heard of Josiah Tong's name in my previous life. Secondly, there is another possibility. Not all people with superpowers can live to the moment of awakening their superpowers. What does it mean? The first stage of the apocalypse of natural disasters is extreme cold, the second stage is floods, and the third stage is meteorite rain. It is generally accepted that superpowers will not begin to awaken among human survivors until the meteor shower occurs. Therefore, many survivors with superpower talents may have died during the natural disasters in the first two stages and would not survive the moment when they awakened their superpowers. Boss, why are you looking at me like that? Josiah Tong was stared at by Li Xiaoluo with hot eyes, and he couldn't take his eyes away. Josiah Tong suddenly felt a little scared and a little shy. Li Xiaoluo reached out and hugged Josiah Tong's body, and said with a smile, "I just realized that your face is delicate and beautiful, and your skin is white and tender. It really fascinated me." Josiah Tong must collect it, +1 for the beauties he hoards. No, it doesn't sound good to use hoarding, so let's use collection, to save it. Counting it all together, there are already 4 beauties rescued by Li Xiaoluo: Shenmai Omeo, Shen Yanayan, Ken Yumei, Josiah Tong. But Li Xiaoluo needs to clarify, what is 36E, what is a devilish figure, what is a hot lady, what is the most beautiful legs? These are not what he is interested in, is he? Li Xiaoluo, such a superficial person. I hope everyone will pay attention to the official announcement and don't spread rumors if you don't believe them. Li Xiaoluo, is doing good deeds. After all, the end of the world is coming, and women are all vulnerable groups. He can save every one of them. Josiah Tong was a little embarrassed by Li Xiaoluo, mainly because she had been with Li Xiaoluo for so many days, and this was the first time she heard Li Xiaoluo's sweet words. Although this sweet talk was not so serious, Josiah Tong still felt very happy. By the way, boss, do you have any trouble with Zhou Junji from the Zhou group? He suddenly found me today and asked me to leave you. Li Xiaoluo said, Zhou Junji must have offered you a very attractive offer, right? Are you not tempted? While speaking, a cold light flashed in Li Xiaoluo's eyes. If he and Josiah Tong had only taken what they needed from the deal before, even if Josiah Tong left, he wouldn't feel anything. But now, Josiah Tong has become his personal exclusive, and anyone who peeks must pay the price. Zhou Junji's end. Li Xiaoluo will make it come early and mark it down for him again. Chapter 33 Morning Condolences. The next day Li Xiaoluo's biological clock made him wake up early. The weather today was very good and the sun was shining brightly. Today is also a big day. No one in the world would have thought that on this sunny day, a natural disaster that will cause the loss of 90% of the world's population is about to occur. Xialuo looked at the time. It was now 7 o'clock in the morning, and there were still 5 hours left, that is, exactly 12 o'clock at noon, before the natural disaster would begin. At that time, the global temperature will drop to tens of degrees below zero in just a few minutes. In the days to come, it may even reach -100 degrees in some places, and countless unprepared people will freeze to death, but Xialuo has long been prepared to welcome the arrival of this day. He will collect the last wave of supplies before noon today, so that he can lie comfortably in the Lord's mansion and watch the natural disasters outside with a smile. Xialuo was thinking about things, but he didn't realize that there was no one around him. After reacting, he discovered that Zhou Xiaotong was not on the bed. Women are indeed magical creatures with strong recovery capabilities. After getting dressed and walking out of the bedroom, the general was sleeping soundly in the luxurious kennel Xialuo had prepared for him. Even though the corners of my mouth are dripping with laughter from time to time, I don't know what I'm dreaming about. When he walked into the bathroom, Xialuo heard noises coming from the kitchen. Zhou Xiaotong was wearing pink silk pajamas making breakfast. After living together for a few days, Xialuo naturally knew that Zhou Xiaotong was not very good at cooking. After all, she was a white-collar beauty who lived a refined life, but it's not a killer in the kitchen. It's no problem to make a simple breakfast. After living here with Xialuo, Zhou Xiaotong would personally prepare breakfast for him every day. Xialuo filled the water in the bathroom and then walked into the kitchen. Zhou Xiaotong, who was wearing silk pajamas, revealed a large area of fair skin, which made Xialuo swallow her saliva. Originally, I wanted to express condolences to Zhou Xiaotong for the hard work of getting up early in the morning to make breakfast, but I didn't expect that it actually turned into condolences. In the end, Chinese characters are vast and profound. Just figure it out yourself. Amid 11,508 words, after waiting for more than an hour, Xialuo helped Zhou Xiaotong to the living room with a slightly burnt omelette. Woof, 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 woof. The general protested to Xialuo with resentful eyes. Have you ever considered the feelings of a single person in all your troubles during the day and night? Bite your bones. If you keep barking, there will be no more Xialuo prepared his favorite meat bones for the general. Xialuo was full of sincerity in his treatment of the general. After all, this BCH will still have to work for him in the future. The general seemed to understand Xialuo's words, and immediately waggled his tail happily and gnawed the bones. Zhou Xiaotong also regained some strength at this time. She took out her mobile phone and handed it to Xialuo and said, "Boss, these are some supplies I purchased online. Can you help me see if the preparations are complete?" Although Xialuo's behavior of hoarding supplies was crazy, it was as if the end of the world was about to come. Before, Xialuo specially reminded Zhou Xiaotong that although Zhou Xiaotong would not spend all her money on buying supplies like Xialuo, she also planned to hoard more food and supplies. She was not afraid of 10,000, but afraid of the worst, and the money was given to her by Xialuo, so Zhou Xiaotong decided to go crazy with him. However, Xialuo's items were too miscellaneous, including ready-made food, fresh vegetables and fruits, warm clothes, defensive weapons, and even snowmobiles and speedboats, even if Zhou Xiaotong wanted to imitate Xialuo in hoarding supplies. But besides learning to buy some food and daily necessities, she really didn't know if she needed to buy some other necessities, so she planned to ask Xialuo for help. However, Xialuo did not answer the phone handed over by Zhou Xiaotong, or even glance at it, but when Zhou Xiaotong showed a trace of disappointment in her eyes, she heard Xialuo say while eating poached eggs, "You don't have to stock up on supplies anymore. It's too late to stock up if you want to. You can move to the duplex on the top floor later and follow me from now on. I can't get enough of you. Should I follow you from now on?" "Boss, what do you mean?" Zhou Xiaotong, who was a little disappointed, had a flash of joy in his eyes, but still pretended not to understand. Xialuo put down his chopsticks, looked at Zhou Xiaotong seriously and said, "It means that you will be mine from now on, privately." "Huh? If you say I'm yours, then I'm yours." Zhou Xiaotong snorted. Although she was completely conquered physically by Xialuo, she was still a little unhappy about Xialuo's intention to terminate the temporary relationship yesterday. Although he didn't know why, Xialuo's attitude changed after just one day, and Zhou Xiaotong was also very curious. "Boss, that's not what you said yesterday. You asked me to prepare supplies for the end of the world. Why did you change your mind just one night? Naturally, Li Xiaoluo would not tell Josiah Tong the truth. He stretched out a finger to lift Josiah Tong's delicate chin, and said with a wicked smile, "Why has my attitude changed? From last night to morning, I wasted on you. It's been so long and you still can't guess the reason? You really fascinate me, Li Xiaoluo, you, Joe." Josiah Tong looked angry, as if he was so angry that he stopped shouting at the boss. In fact, it was Li Xiaoluo's frivolous behavior that made her heart beat faster. Although it can be said that the two of them have done everything they should do, and many special postures have been unlocked one by one due to Li Xiaoluo's strength, she actually has no secrets about Li Xiaoluo now. However, she was still a little overwhelmed by the plot in this kind of romance novel. Li Xiaoluo smiled, then let go of Josiah Tong. His expression suddenly became serious and said, "Okay, I will give you a chance to choose for yourself. Do you want to follow me? If..." Before using the exploration eye, Li Xiaoluo might have really let Josiah Tong choose to stay or go, but after using the probing eye, sorry, Josiah Tong has no choice. But women also want to save face, so Li Xiaoluo accompanied her through the process. Seeing that the boss looked serious, Josiah Tong also put on a serious look and asked, "How long will I be with you?" "Forever, Joe." Josiah Tong snorted, "Boss, you want to keep me for the rest of my life, so what conditions do you want to give me, Li?" Xiaoluo stretched out 3 fingers. "3 guarantees, Joe." Josiah Tong was stunned for a moment, and said with a mixture of laughter and tears, "It's just 3 bags, you just want that me for the rest of your life." In fact, Josiah Tong doesn't care about this at all now, but Li Xiaoluo smiled and said, "Eat included. Drink included. Sleep included, only." Then did Josiah Tong realize that she had misunderstood it. It turned out to be the 3 guarantees, but it seems a bit cheap. You don't have a penny, you don't have a house, you just have food and shelter. This is the cheapest way to raise a girlfriend. How can you be a free girl? But Josiah Tong stood up proudly and said, "Anyway, I don't want to find a boyfriend now, so I'll just follow you. But with your conditions, boss. I won't promise to stay with you forever, Li." Xiaoluo smiled. In a few days, Josiah Tong would know how generous the conditions he had given her were. In the post-apocalyptic world, even those super socialites or actresses will not be able to take down a piece of ham. Chapter 34 Countdown to Natural Disaster, Choosing a Concubine for the General. 9 o'clock in the morning. There are still 3 hours until the ice disaster comes. Li Xiaoluo has already prepared everything he needs to prepare. He doesn't actually need to go anywhere next. He can easily survive the previous 2 natural disasters by staying in his lord's mansion and defeat 90% of the people in the world, then relying on the profit of the future, as well as the large amount of supplies stored in the space, and the few beauties stored in the space. He can defeat all the superpowers even if he does nothing as for himself. Li Xiaoluo doesn't know how many superpowers he will be able to copy in the end, but he decided not to show off his powers in front of others easily in the future. He would just act like a pig and eat the tiger behind the scenes. Josiah Tong hung up the phone, and then walked slowly to Li Xiaoluo with a tall figure. "Boss, I have informed Brother Wang and his team that I will give them a half-day off after finishing their work this morning. I paid another part of the payment to the supplier, and then as you said, I will pay them the remaining 3 days, Joe." Josiah Tong is also a very competent secretary and reports some important work to Li Xiaoluo every day, but now these things are insignificant in Li Xiaoluo's eyes. Even if I want to give them my salary and final payment in the future, I'm afraid not many people will ask for it, because money will become waste paper in no time. If they really wanted it, it would be faster to go to the bank and pick up the sacks themselves. So Li Xiaoluo waved his hand, interrupted Josiah Tong's report, and then said, "You don't have to worry about these things from now on. They will be in the past tense soon." Past tense. Josiah Tong looked at Li Xiaoluo with wide eyes. Doesn't the boss want to be a bad guy? But Josiah Tong reacted quickly and exclaimed, "Boss, are you saying the end of the world is coming soon, Li?" Xiaoluo smiled mysteriously. "Who knows? Everything is possible. In short, you don't need to go anywhere today, just stay at home, Li." Xiaoluo at Longting Villa No. 1 had already made arrangements. Li Xiaoluo, the sisters Shen Miao and Qin Yumei, had informed them that they should stay in the villa today and not go out. Although Shen Miao has a strong personality, she will also be very obedient when she identifies a man, so she will obey Li Xiaoluo's words. What's more, Shen Yanyan has difficulty moving. Shen Miao and the others need to take turns taking care of Shen Yanian, but there is actually no way to go anywhere. 10 o'clock in the morning, Li Xiaoluo and Zhou Xiaotong moved their family from his original house to the penthouse duplex because this penthouse duplex is on the 36th floor. Li Xiaoluo named it number 36 Lord's Mansion from now on. The number 1 Longding Villa will be called the number 1 Lord's Mansion. Lord's Mansion number 36 is larger than the house Li Xiaoluo originally lived in, and the decoration is also good, so Zhou Xiaotong is very happy to move there. However, she was a little curious and said, "Boss, I remember that the effect of Xiandan Group's renovation was not like this. Why does it feel like this house has changed so much?" "No wonder." Zhou Xiaotong looked surprised. After all, Li Xiaoluo had been the hands-off shopkeeper before, and Zhou Xiaotong had been busy following this Xiandan Group's renovation of this house and the house next to Longding Villa, so Zhou Xiaotong actually knows better than Li Xiaoluo how the house was transformed into in the end. But after not seeing her for one night, Zhou Xiaotong thought she had gone to the wrong door. Li Xiaoluo smiled mysteriously and said, "Don't care about these details, you just need to know that this is where we will live in the future, and it can guarantee our absolute safety." Zhou Xiaotong took a deep look at Li Xiaoluo. It was not until this moment that she realized that her boss was becoming more and more mysterious. However, Zhou Xiaotong is a very sensible woman, and she did not pester Li Xiaoluo with too many questions. Everyone has their own secrets, especially some special secrets, and the boss who should let her know will definitely tell her. If she shouldn't know, she should just pretend that nothing happened. Zhou Xiaotong felt quite happy when she was with her boss, so that was fine. Woof, 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 woof. The general also settled down in his kennel, and then came to Li Xiaoluo and waggled his tail crazily. A pair of dog eyes stared at Li Xiaoluo. "You don't know how to show affection. Have you forgotten something?" Li Xiaoluo immediately understood what the general meant. It seemed that he had promised to find a BCH for him, but the arrangements hadn't been put in place yet. "Okay, we still have some time. There's a pet shop on the street outside the community. You can go pick out a female dog that you like." Woof, woof. This master is capable. When the general heard this, he stuck out his dog tongue and his eyes lit up. Li Xiaoluo smiled and touched the general's dog's head. After following Li Xiaoluo for so many days, the general became more and more powerful and loyal to him, so Li Xiaoluo naturally couldn't treat him badly. Moreover, Li Xiaoluo wanted to find a female dog for the general. He also wanted to see if the general's genes were strong enough. It would be perfect if his offspring could also have supernatural talents. When the time comes, a group of young generals who cannot be defeated will ask who else is there. Li Xiaoluo took the general and Zhou Xiaotong to a pet shop near the community. Li Xiaoluo asked the general to choose his favorite one. The general also had a good eye and fell in love with a female golden retriever with shiny hair. "Sir, this golden retriever is not for sale. It, 200,000. Do you want to sell it?" Li Xiaoluo was too lazy to let the general choose again, and he was too lazy to listen to the reason why the dog was not for sale. Anyway, the natural disaster hasn't come yet, so he doesn't believe there are things that can't be done with money. The male owner of the pet shop swallowed his saliva and said, "You are rich, what a big deal? This is my own dog, not for sale." But he couldn't say this anymore. "You have given too much, you have given too much. How could you refuse this?" "Corn, master, I am actually thinking about you. After you follow the new master, you will definitely be able to eat your favorite chicken legs every day." "Sir, its name is Corn. I have been raising it for more than half a year. It is really affectionate. I hope you can take good care of it." The owner of the pet shop diligently found Corn's dog leash and put it on, and then personally handed the dog leash to Li Xiaoluo's hands. Zhou Xiaotong, who followed Li Xiaoluo from the side, was a little speechless. Since he is quite emotional, why are you selling it so readily now? However, Zhou Xiaotong did not say much. There are many keyboard warriors in this era, and there are also people who consider themselves noble. But when faced with the temptation of large amounts of money, how many people can really withstand the temptation? Zhou Xiaotong used to think that having enough money was enough, and her white-collar life was actually quite good. But in the end she followed Li Xiaoluo not because of money, although part of the reason was because of Li Xiaoluo. Zhou Xiaotong was attracted by his mystery, but Zhou Xiaotong also admitted in her heart that the main reason at that time was because the boss gave too much and she couldn't refuse it at all. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 35: A slap in the face that knocked out Aunt Wang's teeth. 11 o'clock, after coming out of the pet shop, it was only an hour before the ice and snow disaster struck. Li Xiaoluo returned to the community with Josiah Tong and the two dogs. Basically, he had done everything he needed to do. Now he can just go home, lie down with a smile and watch the storm outside. The extreme cold and floods in the early stage were all natural disasters. The competition was who had hoarded more food and supplies, who could endure hunger, whose shelter was strong enough to withstand the hungry survivors, and who could not survive without the Holy Mother. So in the early days of the apocalypse, there is only one thing Lee Charlotte has to do: enjoy life while living. At that time, any misery outside will have nothing to do with him. If there are no special circumstances, he will continue to come out to seize the opportunity only when the meteorite disaster strikes. Li Xiaoluo, stop, just. As Li Xiaoluo and the others were walking downstairs to go home, an angry voice came. Then a man wearing glasses quickly ran to Li Xiaoluo and looked at Li Xiaoluo angrily, especially when I saw Josiah Tong, who was next to Li Xiaoluo, wearing sexy clothes, tall figure and outstanding temperament. There was a flash of fire in the eyes of the man with the glasses, and then there was overwhelming jealousy, and the anger on his face became even stronger. Who are you? Li Xiaoluo looked at the man in front of him in confusion. The man with the glasses looked at Li Xiaoluo in disbelief and said angrily, You don't remember who I am? Li Xiaoluo turned around and wanted to leave. She was crazy. There were so many beauties that she couldn't remember. Do you need to remember who you are? What kind of onion are you? But Josiah Tong quickly whispered in Li Xiaoluo's ear, Boss, his name seems to be Yang Wei. I met him a few days ago. He seems to be pursuing that Su Xiu. Right. After being reminded by Josiah Tong, Li Xiaoluo suddenly had an impression. Li Xiaoluo, don't pretend to be stupid. I am Yang Wei and I am Xiu Xiu's boyfriend. I'm warning you that my Xiu Xiu has nothing to do with you anymore. You'd better stay away from my Xiu Xiu. Before Li Xiaoluo could speak, Josiah Tong looked at the man with the glasses with a cold expression. Sir, is there something wrong with your eyes? I suggest you check your eyes again. Beauty, what do you mean? Facing the lively, tall and sexy Josiah Tong. Although Josiah Tong's tone was cold, the bespectacled man's tone was much gentler. Unconsciously Josiah Tong said coldly, If you didn't have a problem with your eyes, couldn't you see that Li Xiaoluo is my man now? He is also with me now. Which of your eyes did you see that my man has a relationship with that Su Xiu? Yang Wei was stunned for a moment by Josiah Tong's scolding. He probably didn't expect that Josiah Tong, who had outstanding temperament, could also scold others. However, the man with the glasses quickly reacted and said angrily, Li Xiaoluo, don't hide behind women and don't dare to say anything. I know you must have done it or said something to Xiu Xiu, otherwise why doesn't Xiu show up these days? You take me too seriously, and you even praise you in front of me. Josiah Tong looked at the man with the glasses speechlessly. She has seen a lot of dog licking, but such weird dog licking is really rare. The spectacled man's quarrel has attracted many people to watch the fun, including Aunt Wang, who has always wanted to cause trouble for Li Xiaoluo at this time. Aunt Wang had just returned from grabbing eggs from the supermarket. She slapped a girl on the bus several times. She was so old and had no eyesight at all. When she saw an old man standing behind her, she didn't know how to give up her seat in time. If you don't slap her, who should you slap? At this time, Aunt Wang was in a happy mood, but when she saw Li Xiaoluo and that crooked woman getting into trouble, Aunt Wang felt even better. Aunt Wang has never seen anyone around her who is better than her son in her life, so she never believed that Li Xiaoluo could drive a sports car or find an excellent girlfriend. Even if the facts were in front of her, she always thought that Li Xiaoluo's sports car was borrowed from someone else, and Josiah Tong was the kind of woman who was neither trivial nor trivial. Aunt Wang was always worried about being bullied by Li Xiaoluo last time, but before she could think of a way to deal with Li Xiaoluo, she saw that Li Xiaoluo was in trouble today. So how can I be unhappy? I am happier than grabbing cheap eggs. Aunt Wang was extremely excited and couldn't help but stand up and walk up to Li Xiaoluo and said, Li Xiaoluo, you have already broken up with Xiu, and now you have another girlfriend. How can you continue to be entangled with Xiu? I watched you grow up. How could you be so confused? This is immoral. Please apologize to me quickly and promise to behave upright in the future. Crack. Suddenly, there was a loud slap, and Aunt Wang's words stopped abruptly. What happened just now was clearly visible to the people around her. Li Xiaoluo slapped Aunt Wang hard and fast. Accurate. Cruel. It was so fast that Aunt Wang didn't have time to react, let alone dodge and listen to the voice. And look at Aunt Wang's miserable appearance. Her cheeks are red and swollen, and one of her teeth seems to have been knocked out. Everyone watching the excitement was shocked by this sudden situation. Although the residents who had lived in this community for a long time actually knew how Aunt Wang was. She was usually sarcastic and gossipy. Seeing her being dealt with was inexplicably refreshing but some people really admire Li Xiaoluo's courage. These days, most people avoid the elderly when they see them. Who dares to hit the elderly? I'm afraid that no matter how much money the family has, it won't be enough to compensate. There are also some people who point fingers at Li Xiaoluo, thinking that Li Xiaoluo's behavior is too bad. Aunt Wang did nothing wrong at all. She just came out as an elder to teach a few words. How could Li Xiaoluo beat someone, and the person who was beaten was an old man? He killed someone. He killed someone. I'm going to be beaten to death. He killed someone in broad daylight. The sudden change took Aunt Wang herself a while to come to her senses. Then she let out an earth-shattering cry, and ran to the side while crying, widening the distance from Li Xiaoluo, as if Li Xiaoluo really wanted to kill her. She does first. It was for show, to create the illusion that Li Xiaoluo wanted to kill her, so that when the police came, they could convict Li Xiaoluo of more crimes. Secondly, she was really afraid that Li Xiaoluo would hurt her again, because she thought Li Xiaoluo might have gone crazy. What couldn't a lunatic do? But Li Xiaoluo didn't go after Aunt Wang. This kind of thing is not worth his trouble now. Then Li Xiaoluo walked up to the dumbfounded man with the glasses, kicked him away, and then fell heavily to the ground. It's not your fault that you jumped in front of me, but it's your fault that you disgust me with a woman like Su Xiu. After cleaning up the two little grasshoppers, Li Xiaoluo, Josiah Tong and the two dogs immediately left the scene and went upstairs. It was already the last moment before the natural disaster came. Li Xiaoluo didn't want to cause trouble for the time being. He was prepared to slowly deal with all the enemies after the natural disaster came. However, I never thought that some people just like to have it delivered to their door, so let's give them an appetizer first. But Li Xiaoluo would not stay at the scene stupidly. If a constable arrived at the scene diligently, it would be a little troublesome, and as long as he returns to the Lord's mansion and waits for the natural disaster to come, even the police will be unable to do anything to him in the future. P.S. Free novels are all based on the support of friends. If you like this genre, put up a bookshelf and give some encouragement. Thank you very much. Chapter 36. The ice disaster is coming. When Li Xiaoluo and Josiah Tong returned to Lord Number 36, after a while, sirens rang in the community. Downstairs in the community, after Li Xiaoluo left, Aunt Wang and the man with the glasses lay directly on the ground crying and screaming. Aunt Wang and the man with the glasses were both determined to let the police see their miserable condition as soon as possible. They must make Li Xiaoluo pay a heavy price. Under no circumstances can they reconcile, and the people who gathered around Aunt Wang and the man with the glasses to watch the excitement did not leave. What happened today was really an eye-opener for them, and they are still waiting to see the excitement behind it. When Li Xiaoluo left before, the people watching the excitement did not dare to stop him. In addition to fearing that Qiyu would be harmed, they also thought that Li Xiaoluo had no intention of running away. Otherwise, why would Li Xiaoluo go upstairs and go home? Everyone who is watching the excitement knows that the excitement will soon come to an end, as long as the police come. After all, in broad daylight and in full view of everyone, Li Xiaoluo's crime of beating people is undeniable. The police did not disappoint everyone. After receiving the alarm that there was an injury incident, and the injured person was an old man, they rushed over immediately. When Josiah Tong heard the voice downstairs, a trace of worry appeared on her face. She didn't know why the boss was so impulsive just now, but she knew that the boss was not wrong because she was basically with her boss these days, and the boss didn't go looking for Su Xiu at all. Josiah Tong could even feel that the boss hated Su Xiu from the bottom of his heart, so that Yang Wei treated Li Xiaoluo as a BCH and was ignored or abandoned by Su Xiu, so he came to trouble Li Xiaoluo. It was really mean and shameless. In Josiah Tong's opinion, Aunt Wang is not a good person. She talks about herself as an elder, but indiscriminately thinks that her boss has done something wrong. Boss, should we find a lawyer online first? Now that the matter has happened, Josiah Tong knows that it is useless to talk more. Now she only thinks about how to make Li Xiaoluo okay. Li Xiaoluo took out his phone and took a look. There are still 5 minutes left. No need to bother. We can just stay at home comfortably and watch the show. With that said, Li Xiaoluo hugged Josiah Tong's soft waist, and then carried her to the balcony, smelling the familiar scent of Li Xiaoluo and feeling Li Xiaoluo's calmness. Josiah Tong seemed not to be so worried anymore under Li Xiaoluo's influence. In fact, only if she really cared about Li Xiaoluo in her heart, Josiah Tong would be afraid and anxious just now, fearing that Li Xiaoluo would really be arrested and taken away quickly. Unconsciously, Li Xiaoluo's position in her heart became more and more important. Bang, bang. Is Li Xiaoluo here? Open the door. I'm the patrol officer. After Li Xiaoluo heard the sound outside the door, he couldn't help but praise the detectives for their high work efficiency. He came upstairs so quickly. Josiah Tong suddenly grabbed Li Xiaoluo's arm, and then hugged Li Xiaoluo's waist tightly. She didn't know why Li Xiaoluo was so calm, but she felt that her heart was about to jump into her throat. Suddenly, Li Xiaoluo's body trembled, and he felt a chill. Li Xiaoluo smiled. His time is coming. Li Xiaoluo is not here. Li Xiaoluo was in a good mood and shouted back to the door, making a small joke. Li Xiaoluo, please correct your attitude. We are not joking with you. Please open the door immediately. If you don't open the door again, we have the right to take coercive measures. Compulsory measures. Even if you, the Lord's Mansion, can't even use a nuclear bomb to do anything to you, what kind of coercive measures are you afraid of? And Li Xiaoluo knew that the people outside the door had no chance, because they would all leave soon. Sure enough, without waiting for Li Xiaoluo to answer, suddenly, several people exclaimed outside the door, "Holy crap, why is it so dark? Is there a power outage? Power outage? But it's daytime now." Hearing the movement outside the door, Li Xiaoluo quickly looked out the window. Sure enough, it was the same scene as in the previous life. An aurora suddenly appeared in the sky, and then the entire sky turned pitch black. It was bright and sunny just now, but it seemed like it was night suddenly. But before people could be frightened for long, it only took a few tens of seconds before the sky suddenly lit up again. But in just a few dozen seconds, the entire earth had become wet, and even covered with water. I looked up at the sky and saw that it was not raining. In fact, even if it was raining, the ground would not be wet in such a short period of time, let alone any water accumulation. In fact, it was during the time when it suddenly turned dark. It seemed like there was a hole in the sky, and water was pouring directly onto the ground. Wait for the darkness to pass. The temperature also began to drop rapidly, and the ground outside began to freeze. Holy crap, what's going on? Why is it so cold all of a sudden? Stop watching the excitement and go back and put on your clothes. It's so damn cold. Help, the temperature is still dropping rapidly. Call the headquarters. We suddenly encountered a supernatural event here. The building experienced extreme cooling. The temperature has dropped to more than 20 degrees below zero. Please, ask for support. Soon, the sound outside Li Xiaoluo's house disappeared, and everyone fled frantically. It's already 20 to 30 degrees below zero. Who can withstand it wearing short sleeves? Even the policemen can't do it. They are afraid of the cold. Moreover, Li Xiaoluo's incident was, to put it bluntly, justified over jealousy. It was a conflict between neighbors and not a major case. There is no need for a police officer to freeze himself to death for a case like this. After Li Xiaoluo felt the cold, he turned on the heating in the room directly through the system and set the temperature at 28 degrees Celsius. He still likes the temperature to be higher. After the super-strengthened Lord's Mansion, whether it is the monitoring system, the defensive high-voltage power grid, or even the water and electricity supply system, Li Xiaoluo can directly control it in the system. It's like a smart home, and soon, the entire city will shut down, and all supplies, including water and electricity, will stop. But Li Xiaoluo's Lord's Mansion has its own system. All energy in his Lord's Mansion is internally circulated, so water and electricity will not be affected at all. The temperature of the room slowly returned to normal. Li Xiaoluo continued to hold Josiah Tong's soft body, and then looked at the scenery outside the window. At this time, outside the window, in just a few minutes, the whole world became crystal clear. No one ever thought that the whole world would soon be frozen. No one would have thought that the temperature could drop so quickly. To describe it in one sentence, heaven and hell are just a thought away. Josiah Tong, who was in Li Xiaoluo's arms, stared at everything that happened suddenly. She felt as if she was in a dream. How can this kind of weather happen this month, and it's still in the south? It is even so weird. If this is not a dream, then it can only be the end of the world. But thinking about possibly Xialuo's crazy stocking up in the past few days, and how calm the police officers were at the door just now, Josiah Tong knew that she might not be dreaming. Especially Josiah Tong could see the chaotic situation downstairs in the community through the transparent floor-to-ceiling windows. Many people want to run home like crazy, but some people may fall to the ground forever. Chapter 37. Boss, wasn't I obedient enough before? The first natural disaster, the ice apocalypse, is really coming. It came so unexpectedly that no one was prepared. Everyone actually experienced a feeling of being frozen like a dog in an instant. And not only were they frozen like dogs, Josiah Tong had already seen through the window that several people in the community downstairs had fallen to the ground. Those people are not acting like the man with the glasses and Aunt Wang before, but they are really trying to kill people. You might think it's an exaggeration. Isn't it just a sudden drop in temperature, and the time is still so short? There won't be any deaths, right? But you can imagine that it is still a sunny day in the 20s and 30s. And you are walking down the street wearing shorts and flip-flops, but all of a sudden, someone pours cold water on you, and then the temperature plummets. When the temperature drops by 10 degrees Celsius, you may feel color. When the temperature drops by 20 degrees Celsius, you will feel cold, but when the temperature drops by 70 degrees Celsius, you will feel heartbreaking pain, because everything happens so fast. People don't have much time to react, especially those who are outdoors. Some people are in good health and are relatively close to home or some places where they can take refuge. That's okay, and they can get temporary refuge, but some people are worse off. For example, some weak elderly people and children may fall to the ground if they are not careful. When the temperature suddenly drops to dozens of degrees below zero, and the road surface is icy and slippery, Josiah Tong saw people downstairs in the community. Some people were too cold to go home because of rapid hypothermia. Some people slipped and fell to the ground and couldn't stand up. Of course, even though the temperature is very low, it will definitely not kill them immediately. But if those people don't have help and treatment, they are bound to die. Not to mention people outside, just people who can escape back home. If there are not enough supplies at home, they will either freeze to death or starve to death. Josiah Tong looked at the situation outside and suddenly seemed to remember something. She quickly took out her mobile phone and opened Douyin. Hello, everyone. XX City is broadcasting emergency news at 12 o'clock capital time. Extreme weather suddenly occurred in the city, resulting in sudden precipitation and extreme cooling. It has now been determined that this sudden precipitation and cooling is a global disaster. The same thing happens in almost every country. Experts are still urgently studying and investigating the reasons for this special situation. Please do not believe or spread rumors, and do not spread doomsday theories and other rumors. All official announcements shall prevail. At the same time, due to the sudden incident, various emergencies occurred in various parts of the city. In some places, there were a large number of car accidents due to slippery roads, and in some places, people were frostbitten on the roadside and were in urgent need of help and treatment. The official has urgently established a cold disaster headquarters, and XXX personally serves as the commander-in-chief. All functional departments will conduct unified command, go all out, and all personnel will act to ensure the safety of life and property of the country and the people. We also call on everyone to carry forward traditional virtues and lend a helping hand to those in need. I believe that as long as we all work together, we will be able to survive this disaster soon. After Josiah Tong opened Douyin, the first thing that was pushed was naturally the official live broadcast room. Every time we encounter a disaster, everyone still trusts the official. After all, the power of the state machine is always much stronger than that of an individual. Believe in our great motherland. Believe in the government. We will be fine. If you don't believe the rumors, don't spread them. Wait for the official announcement. Although I'm almost stiff from the cold, I believe in the government. Support the government. But I still want to ask, is this weird situation really normal? The internet is very busy at this time, and the number of people watching Douyin may exceed that at any time. After all, as long as people stay in a safe place, they basically have no intention of doing anything else. All jobs and mortgage payments will go to hell at this moment. Everyone must just want to know whether they can survive, so countless people immediately went online to find answers, or spiritual comfort. Although it is an extreme natural disaster, the official live broadcast room is still very confident, and all the barrages are basically harmonious. However, Xialuo smiled on the sidelines. The official strength was indeed very strong, even if this natural disaster struck suddenly without any preparation, but as long as the state machinery is turned around, a large amount of manpower and material resources can be immediately used. In the past, when faced with any disaster, there was basically nothing that could not be overcome, so everyone thought it would be the same this time, but this time I am afraid that countless people will be disappointed and even despaired. The end of the world is really coming, and some disasters cannot be stopped by human power. Boss, have you known any news for a long time? Looking at the situation outside, Josiah Tong felt a warmth inside the room, and felt extremely grateful that God had allowed her to meet Li Xiaoluo. Although Josiah Tong usually has a cool goddess image in the company, she actually has her own little secret, that is, she also prefers to read novels at Tomato. She has read various types of novels, and has also read many apocalyptic novels. She knows that if the apocalypse really comes, and if she does not follow Li Xiaoluo, the fate of a woman like her can be imagined. Li Xiaoluo looked at Josiah Tong and nodded. He naturally knew it, and it was not some gossip. He had experienced it himself. He knew what would happen every moment after the end of the world. For example, when the ice apocalypse came just now, the whole world would suddenly become dark and a large amount of water would fall. Then the global temperature would plummet and the whole world would be frozen. Starting tonight, it will start to snow heavily. By tomorrow, the snow will be 1 meter deep, and basically everything in the city will come to a complete halt. Now that the end of the natural disaster has arrived, although Li Xiaoluo will not tell Josiah Tong the details, there is no need to hide what he knows anymore. Li Xiaoluo pinched Josiah Tong's chin and looked at her fair and beautiful collarbone. Be obedient and serve me well from now on. My promise will be valid. I will make you live happier in this apocalypse than in the apocalypse. Josiah Tong blushed and blinked her beautiful eyes. Boss, wasn't I obedient enough before? Li Xiaoluo chuckled and said, I was really not obedient before. I wanted to test you last time, but I couldn't achieve it. Josiah Tong's face turned red. She didn't know whether it was because the room was too warm or because she felt hot inside. A lot has been deleted from this book. I'm sorry if some places don't read well. Last time, the boss Li Xiaoluo said that he would personally guide her, but in the end she still didn't get over the hurdle in her heart. But now it seems that the boss is still thinking about her, and she will definitely not be able to escape. Chapter 38 Li Xiaoluo's Rules. The extreme cold is coming, the temperature outside continues to drop, and countless people are feeling the power of extreme low temperatures. Li Xiaoluo raised his head and looked at the scenery outside the window, making a cool inhaling sound from his mouth from time to time. Of course, it's not that the temperature in Li Xiaoluo's room is too cold. The temperature inside Li Xiaoluo's room was actually not affected at all by the constant cooling outside. This is the power of his lord's mansion. But there are some things that can only be understood but cannot be expressed in words. Li Xiaoluo considers himself not only a good boss, but also a good and serious and responsible mentor. Under his guidance, Josiah Tong's business ability has improved by leaps and bounds. I believe that with more practice in the future, Li Xiaoluo will definitely become a professional that Li Xiaoluo can trust. Boom, boom, boom. Li Xiaoluo, open the door quickly. I'm Li Xiaoluo. Suddenly, there was a rapid knock on the door, and then there was a voice that surprised Li Xiaoluo. Li Xiaoluo, why did he come here? Today is the day we agreed to make room for him. Could it be that he would just come to find me before the natural disaster strikes? That would be interesting. This Li Xiaoluo really knows how to choose the right time to ride a horse. Don't you know this is rude? Moreover, Li Xiaoluo also experienced that people should not be distracted when working, let alone be disturbed, otherwise the efficiency of work will be greatly affected. In fact, it had no impact on Li Xiaoluo, but it was too sudden and frightened Josiah Tong. Josiah Tong, who was frightened, might also be scolding Li Xiaoluo outside the door. Seeing Li Xiaoluo looking at him with satisfaction, Josiah Tong's cheeks turned red and she quickly wanted to stand up, but maybe because she had been squatting for too long, her legs were a little numb, and she almost fell down when she just stood up. Fortunately, Li Xiaoluo had quick eyes and quick hands, and reached out to hug Josiah Tong's soft waist. Thank you. Josiah Tong leaned against Li Xiaoluo to stabilize herself, and then said softly with a blushing face. Li Xiaoluo chuckled and said, you are so polite. After all, you are like this because of work. I definitely can't let you get hurt. Bad boss, stop talking. Following Li Xiaoluo for so many days, Josiah Tong felt that she had learned a lot of knowledge, especially some words with special meanings. She seems to understand. Okay, let's not talk anymore. Li Xiaoluo stroked Josiah Tong's beautiful straight legs with his big hands, and said with concern, "It's okay to have numb legs. I'll rub them for you, and they will be gone soon, Joe." Xiaoluo Tong turned her pretty face away and didn't want to look at Li Xiaoluo. "Are you rubbing her face?" However, after being touched by Li Xiaoluo for a while, Josiah Tong's legs did recover, and then she quickly escaped from Li Xiaoluo's clutches. After all, there's still someone knocking on the door outside. No, the knocking on the door seems to have stopped soon. Don't. You need to go see the people outside. Josiah Tong looked at Li Xiaoluo and asked. Li Xiaoluo's face suddenly turned cold. He looked at Josiah Tong and said, "Remember, from now on, this is the end of the world. In addition to being obedient, you need to follow a few rules to follow me. First, regardless of whether I am at home or not, except for me, I don't need to pay attention to anyone who knocks on the door outside. You can't let anyone in without permission, including people from the government or your relatives. Second, you cannot give anyone a grain of rice or a drop of water without my permission. If you want to follow me, you must not only be obedient, but also not have any holy mother heart. If you think you can't do it, you can leave now. But I gave you a chance. If you can't do it in the future, then I will kill you directly. Got you, Joe?" Xiaoluo Tong had never seen Li Xiaoluo so serious before, and was really shocked. However, she immediately expressed her position. "Boss, I know that human nature will become dark after the end of the world. No one outside will know whether it is good or bad. From now on, I will listen to you in everything." Although Josiah Tong is not a vicious woman, she admits that she really does not have that much heart of the Holy Mother, and she is not a fool. She knows that if it is the end of the world, how can a fragile woman like her be qualified to be the Holy Mother? "Okay, remember what you said and your choice. In fact, if you weren't my woman, I wouldn't have said this to you at all. You might be a corpse now, Li Xiaoluo." No matter what Josiah Tong thinks, the rules that should be set must be agreed upon first. In his previous life, Li Xiaoluo was also a lover of novels, and he read a lot of apocalyptic novels. When the apocalypse really came, he thought he would not be able to read the Holy Virgin, but when the target became relatives, people he liked, or even some poor people who were good at pretending, Li Xiaoluo softened his heart, so he paid a heavy price in his previous life. In the previous life, Li Xiaoluo was not with Josiah Tong after the end of the world, but the ending of Li Xiaoluo's Josiah Tong may not be too good either. Otherwise, Josiah Tong has supernatural talents and high potential, but Li Xiaoluo has never heard of her. In fact, Li Xiaoluo now has a system. Even if one day Josiah Tong really has the heart of the Virgin, it will not hurt Li Xiaoluo because of the system. Li Xiaoluo was basically undefeated in his lord's mansion, and no one could steal his home. First of all, Li Xiaoluo's two lord's mansions have extremely strong defense capabilities. Even the country's power is basically unable to break into his mansion. Moreover, the two lords' mansions also have portals, which are magical tools for escaping and saving lives. Secondly, for the women who live in the lord's mansion, such as Josiah Tong in Lord's Mansion number 36, and Shen Miaomio in Lord's Mansion number 1, Li Xiaoluo can monitor their every move through the system even if they are not at home. The last and most important thing is whether it is Lord's Mansion number 36 here or Lord's Mansion number 1 over there at Longting Villa. When letting Xiandan Group renovate, Li Xiaoluo requested that the entrance and exit doors of each Lord's Mansion should be the top-notch anti-theft and bulletproof doors. Such doors cannot be opened casually, even by people staying in the house. Li Xiaoluo's fingerprints are required. Just keep it secret. Moreover, Li Xiaoluo can also be controlled through the system after the end of the world came. Li Xiaoluo immediately set all the doors through the system so that only his fingerprint and password could be opened. In this way, even if Li Xiaoluo happened not to be at home when Li Xiaoluo knocked on the door just now, and Josiah Tong thought it was Li Xiaoluo's relative who wanted to open the door, Josiah Tong could not open the door. Anyway, according to Li Xiaoluo's plan, during the previous two natural disasters, his women did not need to go out. They could just stay in the house. Honestly, only when the third disaster comes is the time for them to show off. Think of this. Li Xiaoluo thought of Shen Miaomio and the girls at Lord's Mansion number 1. Li Xiaoluo took out her mobile phone and sent the rules she had just established to Shen Miaomio via WeChat, and asked her to tell them to those staying at Lord's Mansion number 1. All women. In fact, Shen Miaomio's place is quite lively now. Li Xiaoluo asked sister Shen Miaomio and the nurse Qin Yumi to live in it, but before the ice disaster hit today, Another female nurse from the hospital happened to deliver some medical supplies to Qin Yumei, and then a female classmate of Shen Yanyan also came to visit Shen Yanyan. Therefore, the number of residents in Lord's Mansion number 1 increased from 3 women to 5. Shen Miao informed Li Xiaoluo via WeChat in the morning, and Li Xiaoluo had actually known about it through the monitoring system for a long time. Chapter 39. The First Contracted Servant. There were 2 more women on Shen Miao's side than Li Xiaoluo planned, and Li Xiaoluo didn't realize it was a big deal. After all, he will also be a lord in the future, and sisters Shen Miao and Qin Yumei will have extraordinary status in the future, so his huge lord's mansion will definitely need some maids. Of course, Li Xiaoluo was originally a person who would rather do nothing than waste. Anyway, he was the only one who could know who had supernatural talents before the end, so he planned that all maids should also have supernatural talents. Unfortunately, people with supernatural talents are too rare. Shen Miao, Shen Yanyan, Josiah Tuang, Qin Yumei, and Li Xiaoluo only found these 4 people in total. And speaking of it, Sister Shen Miao still knew that they had special powers because of their previous life, and Qin Yumei was able to discover it because of Sister Shen Miao. The only one Li Xiaoluo actually found was Josiah Tuang. Moreover, the 4 people Li Xiaoluo found were all top-notch people. It would be a waste to just use them as maids to do some chores, so I will definitely add more people in the future. But even if you are looking for a maid, those 2 women still need to be assessed by Li Xiaoluo. Even as a maid, Li Xiaoluo is not wanted by everyone. If there is anything that dissatisfies him, then Li Xiaoluo will directly tell them to get out. As for how to get out, that's none of Li Xiaoluo's business. However, Li Xiaoluo has no plans to go to Shen Miao these days. There are 2 main reasons for doing this. First, let Shen Miao and the others experience the feeling of the end of the world for a few days. Li Xiaoluo did not live at Lord's Mansion number 1, so there was not much drinking water and food there. Then Li Xiaoluo controlled it through the system, and the water and power there happened to be cut off at the same time as the entire city. In this way, Shen Miao and the others can perfectly experience the most realistic apocalypse when he suddenly appears and gives them a life with water, electricity and food. They will be moved from the bottom of their hearts. Li Xiaoluo is not a person who likes to give silently and do good deeds without leaving a name. The second reason is that Li Xiaoluo also hopes to impress Shen Miao more. When the friendship level breaks through 80, he can sign a contract with Shen Miao. Although it is still quite a long time before the 3rd natural disaster, Li Xiaoluo is not too anxious to use up all the 5 contract quotas. However, he must win over Shen Miao as soon as possible, and she must be included in the quota of contract subordinates. Speaking of contract subordinates, Li Xiaoluo sorted out the information about the 4 beauties he had collected in his mind. Shen Miao, friendliness level 78, potential value 99, special ability, ice power, to be awakened. Shen Yanyan, friendliness level 71, potential value 89, special ability, plant power, to be awakened. Josiah Tuang, friendliness level 86, potential value 90, special ability, water power, to be awakened. Qin Yumei, friendliness level 66, potential value 88, special ability, healing ability, to be awakened. Regarding these women, Li Xiaoluo's current evaluation is as follows. Shen Miao is the most powerful person in the country, has the best figure, and has a gentle personality. She will also be the most powerful person under him in the future, so she is the most valued by Li Xiaoluo. Moreover, Shen Miao's ice power is a special power. She will be included in Li Xiaoluo's 5 contract subordinates. Shen Yanyan is beautiful and cute, and she has the blessing of being a sister-in-law. Well, no, she is the blessing of being a planter with superpowers. However, a person with supernatural powers is definitely the most popular person among ordinary survivors, because she can save the lives of many ordinary people. But it was not so attractive to Li Xiaoluo. In Li Xiaoluo's mind, the best choice must be special powers, such as thunder powers, ice powers, speed powers, mental powers, etc. Next is the series of abilities of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Although they are worse than special abilities, they are still attack or defense abilities. The last option is auxiliary abilities, such as space abilities, healing abilities, planting abilities, etc. Therefore, Li Xiaoluo himself is not yet sure whether Shen Yanyan should be included in the quota of 5 contract subordinates. If before the 3rd disaster strikes, he can find a special talent that makes Li Xiaoluo more excited, then Li Xiaoluo will definitely not waste his quota on contracting with Shen Yannian until the system is upgraded to increase the quota for his contracted subordinates. Next is Zhou Xiaotuang, tall and sexy, with outstanding temperament, and the most friendly to Li Xiaoluo. Zhou Xiaotuang's innate power is water power, which suits her quite well. My skin is so tender that it looks like it's dripping with water, and there's really a lot of water. Zhou Xiaotuang's friendship level is 86, which has already exceeded 80, reaching the standard of a system contract subordinate. But Li Xiaoluo was not in a hurry to contract Zhou Xiaotuang because the water power was not as strong as Shen Miaomiao's ice power, and it was of the same type. But now, Li Xiaoluo decided to accept Zhou Xiaotuang first, and take up the quota. First, turn on the system and listen to the sound. We can't keep the system out for a walk for so long, otherwise we will almost forget its existence. At the same time, it is also because Zhou Xiaotuang has the highest friendship level and is the first woman to follow him, so he still needs to be given some preferential treatment. Moreover, Li Xiaoluo's reservation of 1 or 2 places is almost enough. It is really hard to find people, women, with supernatural talents, and Li Xiaoluo is uncomfortable with finding a man by his side, especially given his past life experience. He will never accept a man, at least, he won't accept men as his subordinates. It doesn't matter if you occasionally use them as cannon fodder. Finally, there was Qin Yumei, this top-notch imperial sister and sexy young woman. It was an unexpected surprise. Li Xiaoluo did not expect to find someone with healing talents among the nurses at that time, and although the healing power is an auxiliary power, it is said that it becomes stronger as you go to the back. Li Xiaoluo is also very excited. However, Qin Yumei has just joined, and her friendliness is the lowest among the 4 girls, so Li Xiaoluo doesn't have to make a decision in a hurry. Just do what you think of. And Li Xiaoluo waved to Zhou Xiaotuang, who was looking at his mobile phone. Secretary. Zhou, come here and sit down for a moment. Boss, it's already noon. Are you still hungry? Let me cook for you first. And what you just did, you did too much, which is not good for your health. When Zhou Xiaotuang heard Li Xiaoluo's call, her pretty face immediately turned rosy, and then she walked over and whispered softly. Li Xiaoluo looked at Zhou Xiaotuang with a strange expression, and asked you to come and sit down. What are you thinking about? Do it. Very good. She is indeed a woman with water powers, so do you need to do it before signing the contract? Seeing Li Xiaoluo's eyes, Zhou Xiaotuang came to his senses and realized that he seemed to have heard wrongly suddenly. However, the two of them had already been honest with each other and there was no secret at all, so it wasn't too embarrassing. Then Zhou Xiaotuang sat on the sofa next to Li Xiaoluo honestly. She didn't know what Li Xiaoluo wanted to do. Li Xiaoluo said to Zhou Xiaotuang, don't be too surprised later, don't resist, just choose to accept it. The contract process is actually quite simple. As long as Li Xiaoluo comes into contact with a person he wants to contract with and then chooses the contract, the system will give a prompt. Ding. Zhou Xiaotuang, the friendliness meets the requirements. Is the host confirmed to recruit her as a contract subordinate? Yes. After Li Xiaoluo recited silently in his heart, a voice suddenly sounded in Zhou Xiaotuang's mind. Whether you become Li Xiaoluo's contracted subordinate, you must not betray after the contract, otherwise you will be obliterated. Zhou Xiaotuang was stunned for a moment, and then said slowly, I do. Chapter 40. The first day of the end of the world, eat something good to commemorate it. As soon as Zhou Xiaotuang finished speaking, a burst of mysterious light shot into the bodies of Li Xiaoluo and Zhou Xiaotuang, giving the two of them a different feeling, as if they were in harmony and connected. Damn it, the skills of this contracted subordinate are really not suitable for contracted men, Li Xiaoluo thought to himself. Otherwise, just thinking about the feeling just now, Li Xiaoluo would have goosebumps all over his body. And Li Xiaoluo now finally understands why the system requires the friendliness of the contracted person to be above 80, because the person being contracted must also be willing. From the system's perspective, only those with a friendship level of 80 or above are likely to be willing. However, in Li Xiaoluo's view, there is actually no shortage of ways for people to volunteer after the apocalypse. Not much to say about these. After the contract was completed, Li Xiaoluo couldn't wait to check the system, the strongest shelter system in the Doomsday. Lord, Li Xiaoluo, Level 1, Lord's Mansion, Villa Number 1, Longting, 36th floor, Building A, Wutanggyun Community. Innate ability, Exploring Eye, Special ability, Space, 2000 cubic meters, Contracted subordinate 1/5, Energy points 0, Shop, Level 1. It's not easy. The system board has finally changed. And there is a person under the contract. Ding. Congratulations to the host. You have successfully contracted with your first subordinate. You have taken the first step to become the strongest lord. You will be rewarded with a power enhancement scroll. Haha, not bad. I didn't expect there would be an unexpected surprise. Xialuo immediately checked the newly rewarded power enhancement scroll, not knowing what good thing it was. Power enhancement volume. This product may only appear after the store is upgraded to level 2, priced to 10,000 energy points. Effect. After the host chooses to use a certain ability, the ability will be strengthened with different effects. Different abilities will have different enhanced effects. Nice one. Although the effect is not clearly stated, this power enhancement scroll is definitely a good thing after all. The price is there. The Xianzhen card that Xialuo has always been thinking about only requires 1,000 energy points. Can something that is 10 times more expensive be bad? Moreover, Xialuo doesn't have any energy at all right now, and those who can be prostituted for free are all good things. Then, for this power enhancement scroll, Xialuo now only has space power. So he has no choice and uses it directly. Ding. The host uses the power to enhance the volume of the space power, and the current space size increases 10 times. So, cool, the size of the space has increased tenfold. The original space was 2,000 cubic meters, but now it has directly become 20,000 cubic meters, but it's a pity. It would be great if this power enhancement scroll appeared earlier. In this way, Charlotte will definitely find a way to fill the entire space before the end of the world comes, but it's not too late now. Before the end of the world comes, he has actually saved a trick. Not only did Xialuo purchase and hoard excess supplies, they are now stored in the rented warehouse. Moreover, Xialuo also conducted a detailed inspection of all key resource points in the city, including large supermarkets, tobacco companies, alcohol trading companies, grain and oil wholesale markets, warehouses, gas stations, armed police force stations, etc., including the address and route of each resource point, and the specific situation. It will be convenient for him to go to 0 yuan shopping to purchase goods. Now, it really comes in handy seeing Xialuo suddenly looking very happy, although Josiah Tong didn't know what good thing had happened. She was also inexplicably happy. Boss, let me cook for you, Joe. Xialuo Tong stood up from the sofa. Although her cooking skills are limited to making breakfast, there is no takeout and she cannot eat out, then she can only cook it herself, and she can't let the boss cook for her. From now on, you can call me husband at home, and you can continue to call me boss in front of outsiders. It feels good to have a beautiful secretary. I want to continue to experience it. Xialuo smiled and looked at Josiah Tong. Josiah Tong blushed and responded softly, I know, husband. Xialuo nodded with satisfaction, and then said, okay, you don't have to cook, we have ready-made food. You can clean up this coffee table, and we will eat here, okay? Josiah Tong didn't ask any more questions, and immediately bent down to pack the things on the coffee table. Josiah Tong has a tall figure and wears high heels. When she bends slightly, her beautiful legs wrapped in stockings seem to become more slender, and this posture is really eye-catching, especially Josiah Tong is still wearing a short skirt. When she bends over, if Xialuo tilts her head a little more, she can enjoy some different scenery. Fortunately, Xialuo is relatively calm now and can withstand temptation. After Josiah Tong packed up the coffee table, Xialuo took out a bunch of delicacies from the space and filled the coffee table with them. There are king crabs weighing several kilograms, top-notch steaks, various seafood, and attractively colored marinated dishes. In fact, although Xialuo has stocked up on a large amount of delicacies, he doesn't have much space for top-quality steaks and king crabs, with only about 1,000 servings of each type. Compared to the quantity of other delicacies, which are at least tens of thousands, it's really not much, but today is the first day of the end of the world, so I must eat something good to commemorate it. Stop just looking around and sit down to eat. This is a space power. Otherwise, where do you think the food and supplies I purchased in large quantities went? Looking at Josiah Tong, who was already dumbfounded, Xialuo spoke up. It is normal for ordinary people to have this kind of reaction when encountering such a thing for the first time. Now that Xialuo had taken out the food, he naturally didn't want to hide it from Josiah Tong anymore. After all, he is already under contract and can be trusted absolutely. However, Xialuo only talked about special abilities, not about the system. There will be more people with superpowers in the future, but the system is Charlotte's only one, And it is also his biggest secret. After Josiah Tong sat down and digested this astonishing information, Li Xiaoluo took out 2 bottles of cold snow beer from the space. Come, let's have a drink. The ice and snow weather just goes with the name snow beer. Josiah Tong was eating and drinking with Li Xiaoluo. Looking at the table full of delicious food, Josiah Tong was really glad for her original decision. As long as she follows her boss, she will be happy in this apocalypse. Bite. Li Xiaoluo's cell phone rang with a message. At this time Li Xiaoluo took out her phone and saw a WeChat message from Li Xiaoluo, who had knocked on the door before. Li Xiaoluo, why didn't you open the door just now? I know you live on the 36th floor now, and I've been keeping an eye on you these days. I live in room 1304 now. Come down and see me. I have something to ask you. After seeing the news, Li Xiaoluo was stunned for a moment and couldn't help but be speechless. This family is so weird. Originally, Li Xiaoluo thought that Li Xiaoluo was coming to talk to him about the house deal today when the natural disaster was approaching unexpectedly. Li Xiaoluo rented a house directly here and monitored Li Xiaoluo all the time. I don't know if the nominal father and aunt followed. Li Xiaoluo hopes that they will come too, so that he can appreciate the good life they live after this apocalypse. It's so boring without any fun. No time. Li Xiaoluo typed 2 words and sent it. Li Xiaoluo, do you have anything to eat? It's too cold now to order takeout. You can send me some food first, and then I can give you money. Originally, Li Xiaoluo was going to put down her phone and was too lazy to pay attention to Li Xiaoluo anymore. But after seeing the message from Li Xiaoluo, a sneer appeared at the corner of Li Xiaoluo's mouth. And I gave you some food? Who gave you the confidence to say this? But Li Xiaoluo himself is still very sympathetic, so just send some food to him. Li Xiaoluo took a few photos of the delicious food on the coffee table with her mobile phone, and then sent them directly to Li Xiaoluo. Chapter 41. Let Li Xiaoluo know that he is really worse than a dog. Look, I don't eat much. I don't know when this damn weather will pass, so I have to save some food. Where can I find extra food for you? Li Xiaoluo on the 13th floor looked at the pictures of delicious food sent by Li Xiaoluo. He was a little hungry and swallowed his saliva. In fact, even if he is not hungry now, he has never eaten many of the delicacies served by Li Xiaoluo, so how can he not be greedy? But Li Xiaoluo's words made him angry and wanted to vomit blood. Do you think you're running out of food, also called saving money? Damn, are you talking human language? Li Xiaoluo was furious and sent another message to Li Xiaoluo. Li Xiaoluo, don't bully me too much. It was your father who asked me to ask you for food. Do you want me to ask him to tell you in person? Why, is Li Wei starving with you now? Then hurry up and send him the photos I sent you to satisfy his hunger. What a shame. Li Xiaoluo sent the last message, then threw the phone on the sofa, too lazy to pay attention to this nonsense anymore. As for what Li Wei told him personally, Li Xiaoluo had already blocked his phone number and WeChat account. I don't want to make myself sick, continue to have a big meal with Josiah Tong, and then drink cold snow beer no matter what the people outside are like. Li Xiaoluo's home is as warm as spring now. He was eating a priceless meal, accompanied by a top-notch beauty, and his life was very fulfilling. Of course, Li Xiaoluo did not forget the 2 dogs at home, General and Corn, and also prepared beef and chicken legs for them, although the General will be very powerful in the future. Now he is just a BCH. In order to show off in front of the Corn, he directly took the chicken legs from his food bowl into the Corn bowl. After seeing the Corn, he didn't dislike it. And the General dog smiled like an nymphomaniac. Li Xiaoluo hates that iron cannot become steel. Licking the dog. And why does this operation look so familiar? But General is lucky. Although he is a licking dog, he and Corn are the only 2 dogs in the family, so there is no competition at all. Licking a dog will not end well. Obviously it will not happen to it. By the way, I also took some photos of my 2 dogs eating and sent them to Li Xiaoluo, so that he can know that he is really worse than a dog. After eating, Josiah Tong obediently made tea for Li Xiaoluo and then picked up the garbage. Li Xiaoluo obviously preferred her identity as a secretary, so she continued to play this role, and even as the hostess, Josiah Tong also understands her status and Li Xiaoluo's character. So I don't think that as the hostess, I can control Li Xiaoluo and make Li Xiaoluo listen to her. Li Xiaoluo was drinking tea and scrolling through Douyin on the sofa with his mobile phone. Anyway, I don't have to go to work anymore. I just have to have fun every day. It has been a few hours since the ice disaster occurred, and now there are related live broadcasts and short videos everywhere on the internet. Li Xiaoluo randomly came across a mail anchor called Challenge to Live in the City with 100 yuan for a month, in The past, Xialuo would definitely not be interested in such a live broadcast, and would immediately leave if he saw the male anchor. The male anchor is not as good looking as those black and red silk stockings, but now, I have it at home, and those beautiful legs look absolutely stunning in stockings. So Xialuo is no longer interested in the vulgar fans on Douyin, and now that the weather is tens of degrees below zero, those who try every means to expose their flesh should stop. Old fellows, the challenge to live in the city for RMB 100 for a month has now been declared a failure. I can't stand it anymore. I really can't stand it anymore. For the sake of my life, I have to go out and buy a cotton coat to wear. I'm really desperate right now. I regret so much. In order to save money to pay off the mortgage, I bought beautiful clothes for my girlfriend, but I couldn't even install an air conditioner. If I get caught in the cold, what will happen to my house and my beautiful girlfriend? Anchor, hold on. Your challenge will be successful in 2 days. In order to save money, you have already drunk the urine. What are you afraid of when you are so cold? Just grit your teeth and push through. I will give you a rocket when the time comes. Anchor, it's more dangerous outside now than at home. I advise you not to go out. No matter what clothes you buy, it's the same if you wrap yourself in a quilt. Anchor, please send me your address. If you leave, your home will be my home and your girlfriend will be my girlfriend. Don't be polite to me, Lee. Xialuo looked at the comments in the live broadcast room and smiled. Netizens are all talented people, and sometimes the comments are better than the live broadcast, just like Xialuo reading a novel. Sometimes the 99+ comments are more exciting than the novel. Xialuo watched it for a while and then changed to a live broadcast room called The Filial Dog from the Countryside. Dear fellow live streamers, my father just called me. He slipped on the road at number 130 England Road, Nancy. He fell so badly that he couldn't stand up. I can't get out of the house. Go and ask some kind-hearted old man nearby to help me send my father to the hospital or the nearest clinic. I will thank you very much then. Anchor, you are such a filial child. You can't get out of the house, so let others go out to help you save your father. The person above said it wrong. You should say, host, you are such a dog. The name Gawa is indeed correct. Do you people still have humanity and compassion? Did Brother Gawa do anything wrong? It's not easy to go out on the current situation. What's wrong with asking people nearby to help? The stupid fan of Guwa upstairs should stop washing the floor. If we remember correctly, Guwa's home is over England Road. He himself is from the neighborhood. Who does he need help from nearby? Everyone, please stop arguing. I think it's not a question of whether to help or not, but a question of whether you dare to help. Anyway, anyone who dares to help a fallen old man, I respect him as a hero. What you said upstairs is also wrong. Now it is no longer a question of whether you dare to help, but a question of whether you can help him or not. You can go out and take a look on the roads and streets. There are people who have fallen and people who have fallen. There are more and more car accidents, and the officials are overwhelmed. What you said above is correct. There are pictures and the truth. I am on my way home now. Look, there is another series of bumper cars in front of me. The scene is really terrible. So if you can find a place to stay, please stay there. Even if you stay in the car, don't rush to drive home. The current situation is that there are many slippers on the road, and the extreme low temperature may cause the car to malfunction and people to malfunction. Driving on the road now is almost like dying. Xialuo moved her hand and changed to another live broadcast room. This time it was a female anchor. The live broadcast room was called Two Big Coconuts. Xialuo counted with her fingers. This female anchor has great connotations. Dear family members, I am the anchor of Two Big Coconuts. I don't have any food stocked at home. Is there a kind brother in the live broadcast room who can give me some food? I will treat him to drink coconut juice then. 666. The anchor is awesome, sister. Big Coconut, I have food, but can I really drink coconut water? Holy shit, you guys are really big-hearted. What time of the year are you still thinking about doing this? Let's wait and see if we can survive. What are you afraid of? The country has definitely taken action. We can just wait for the disaster to pass with peace of mind. Douyin now contains not only official news, but also some real-life situations of ordinary people across the country. Of course, some bad comments will definitely be blocked, and Xialuo still doesn't know that the owners of the community are already making noise because of him. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 42. Aunt Wang and Su Xiu's mother unite. Here's the thing, back to more than an hour ago, after Aunt Wang and the man with the glasses were beaten by Xialuo, she originally thought that Xialuo would pay a heavy price soon, but neither of them expected that just when they followed the police to Xialuo's house triumphantly, the ice disaster suddenly struck. Although everyone knew that Xialuo was at home at that time, everyone, including the police, was about to freeze to death. Moreover, the police were notified at the last minute and seemed to have more important tasks to deal with, so they left quickly so Aunt Wang and the man with the glasses could only look at the door and sigh, and then ran home dejectedly. After Aunt Wang returned home, she put on winter clothes and turned on the air conditioner to more than 30 degrees, and finally felt that she was not freezing to death, but she definitely couldn't just let it go after the humiliation she suffered today. She had already told her son and her relatives about the incident in a more aggravating manner. What she was thinking at the time was that no matter how the police convicted Xialuo, she would let her family give Xialuo a lesson. After all, Xialuo almost let the dog bite her last time, and this time he knocked out all her teeth. She had old and new grudges, and even killing Xialuo could not relieve her anger. But now the temperature has suddenly cooled down, the police have left, and the help she was looking for is temporarily unavailable. Aunt Wang was so angry that she couldn't even eat lunch. It didn't take long for the community owners to become lively. It turned out to be a notice from Director Ma of the Property Owners Committee. All residents, please pay attention. After receiving notices from the Sub-District Office and Community Committee, the temperature has suddenly dropped, and cold disaster prevention and control measures have now been launched. Everyone must pay attention to the following things and not cause trouble to the country. 1. The weather is cold, so try to wear more clothes and take care of yourself. At the same time, electricity consumption is very tight now. Please try not to turn on the air conditioner too high, save electricity, and reduce the pressure on electricity. Second, we must believe in the country and the government, which will be able to protect the safety of people's lives and property, and rationally arrange and regulate supplies. Therefore, everyone should not rob supplies, let alone take advantage of the country's difficulties to make money. Third, don't spread rumors, don't believe them, and don't spread any rumors. As soon as the message from Director Ma of the Owners Committee was sent out, a bunch of people immediately responded to the message. Received, trust the official. Receive, Director Ma, I want to go out and stock up on food now, but with this temperature, who dares to go out? Sister, I'd like to ask you weekly, if I go out to buy a few days worth of food for emergencies, doesn't that count as robbing supplies? As long as you are not hoarding a large amount of supplies and are just buying normal daily necessities, it naturally does not count as looting supplies. Is there anyone who wants to go out to purchase supplies? Can you bring me some food back? Let's chat privately. I will definitely thank you. At this time, Sister Wang is also watching the news in the owner group at home. If it were normal, she would definitely be the first to reply to the news, so as to show her enthusiasm and sense of presence. However, she was beaten so badly by Xialuo today, maybe now she is the joke of the entire community. How dare she take the lead? But seeing someone in the group at Sister Liu from the business committee, Aunt Wang immediately sent a private message to Sister Liu. Sister Liu of this property owner committee is none other than Su Xiu's mother. She works in the community property owner committee and is also the deputy director, and Su Xiu's mother originally lived in Aunt Wang's building, so people in Aunt Wang's building usually like to find Su Xiu's mother, the deputy director, instead of the biggest boss of the property owner committee when they have something to do in the group or privately. Director Aunt Wang, old Liu, do you know about Xialuo's beating this morning? Sister Liu from the business committee, Sister Wang, you know that my Xiu and Xialuo have nothing to do with each other. Don't come to me about Xialuo beating you. Aunt Wang is speechless. Can't we not mention her being beaten? Aunt Wang continued, old Liu, I'm not here to trouble you. I just want to say that there are such violent elements and black sheep in our community. Doesn't your property owner committee care about it? Why do we pay for so many security guards? And Lao Liu, to be honest, if what happened today had not been for that BD Xialuo said some unpleasant things about your Xiu, saying that your Xiu was something he didn't want after playing bad, don't talk to him anymore. It's not about relationships. I'm just angry that he abused and slandered a girl, Xiu. Otherwise I wouldn't have meddle in his own business. So, Lao Liu, although I don't want to trouble you, you still have to deal with that Li Xiaoluo, right, sister? Liu from the Property Owners Committee, Sister Wang, you didn't say that on purpose, right? Ma Xiu didn't offend you, and Wang, old Liu, how could I lie to you? Many residents of the community were watching the scene, and they can all testify. When the man with the glasses asked Li Xiaoluo, this is what Li Xiaoluo said about your Xiu. If you don't believe me, you can ask the people watching. I have such a strong sense of justice that I can't bear to break up with a scumbag like Li Xiaoluo and humiliate your Xiu family like this. Sister Liu from the Property Owners Committee, Sister Liu of the Business Committee was silent for a moment, and then said, Sister Wang, let me tell you again, my Xiu and Li Xiaoluo have always been friends and have never been together at all. Where did they break up? At? For what you said about cleaning up Li Xiaoluo, although Li Xiaoluo's behavior is indeed illegal. But officials also need to arrest him. The security guards of our owners committee cannot arrest people, and Wang, old Liu, wasn't there an emergency at that time? Originally, Li Xiaoluo was about to be brought to justice, but the temperature suddenly dropped. Now the official manpower must have been used to maintain order and provide disaster relief. Where can anyone come to arrest Li Xiaoluo? But now is a special period, and there are thugs who threaten the safety of the people. Is it normal for your business committee to control him first? Maybe he will be rewarded by the superiors then, Sister Liu of the business committee, Sister Wang. I don't pretend anymore. I also want to deal with Li Xiaoluo. But I am just a deputy director and don't have that much power in this way. You can talk about your matter directly in the group. Let everyone know that I will also say a few words in the group and let Director Ma give orders. And Wang, okay, in the owner group, all the owners are still discussing this natural disaster and what may happen next. Then and Wang said in the owner group, at owner committee Director Ma, I also firmly support the work of the property committee and the decisions of the sub-district office and the community committee. However, I am here to report one thing. Li Xiaoluo, the original owner of building A on the 12th floor, at noon I was beaten until I vomited blood and my teeth were knocked out in front of everyone. Will your business committee not care about this matter, Sister Liu of the Property Owners Committee? Hey, although I watched this kid Li Xiaoluo grow up, I really want to talk about him this time no matter what. I can't hit anyone, and I still hit an old man, but Li Xiaoluo, I also know that he is not bad in nature. Sister Wang, can you forgive him once and let him compensate? Otherwise, the child will be ruined for the rest of his life. Seeing the performance of Sister Liu from the Property Owners Committee in taking advantage of the situation to advance among the owners, Aunt Wang admired her. They were indeed masters at Wang, at Liu, Lao Liu. Actually, I also watched Li Xiaoluo grow up, but today I feel like Li Xiaoluo is possessed by an evil spirit. It doesn't matter that I was beaten, even though I was seriously injured. But at least he is not dead. But now I am really afraid that Li Xiaoluo will hurt others again, or even kill someone. Chapter 43. I'm bored anyway, so I'll just tease these clowns. After Li Xiaoluo watched Daoing for a while, he got a little bored, and then saw several WeChat groups with 99+ messages. When Li Xiaoluo clicked on the owner group chat, he discovered that the latest news was all about him. Director Ma of the Owners Committee, at everyone, after research and decision by the Owners Committee, in view of some special circumstances of Li Xiaoluo, it has been decided to temporarily control him. I hope that if you see the news, you can take the initiative to surrender to the Owners Committee. If you take the initiative, our Owners Committee will appropriately fight for a lighter punishment for you. Li Xiaoluo pulled up the messages in the group and took a look. The first messages were all about the disaster, but after Aunt Wang talked about being beaten by her, and then Aunt Xiu cooperated a few more words, and finally Li Xiaoyi's speech brought the matter to a climax. It turned out that Li Xiaoyi sent all the pictures of enjoying food sent to him by Li Xiaoluo to the owner group. That's okay, it's just a hornet's nest. Hello Li Xiaoluo, forget about beating the old man. You can still celebrate at home by eating and drinking. The owners were immediately filled with indignation, and everyone denounced Li Xiaoluo, of course. The most important reason is that Li Xiaoluo eats better than them. This ice disaster came so suddenly that many people who usually don't cook at home are still hungry, and I was cold and hungry even though the remote control in their home is about to malfunction and the air conditioner is set to the highest temperature. The home is still getting colder and colder. But Li Xiaoluo, a criminal who beats people, how can you still eat steak and king crab in the face of such a disaster? And you can see in the photo that he is still wearing short sleeves. They are all suffering. Why are some people living so well? Even Director Ma of the Owners Committee originally didn't want to meddle in other people's business, and they didn't have the power to enforce the law. Going to arrest Li Xiaoluo might prove to be a thankless task in the end, but after seeing Li Xiaoluo's life, he immediately changed his attitude to arrest Li Xiaoluo at this time. Naturally, their Owners Committee has the right to reasonably distribute the food in Li Xiaoluo's house. After reading what happened in the group, Li Xiaoluo laughed. It was boring anyway, so teasing these clowns was actually quite fun. Li Xiaoluo, at Owner Committee Director Ma, which official department is your property committee? You want me to surrender to the property committee? Do you have any place to lock me up, Director Ma of the Owners Committee? Li Xiaoluo, given your current mental state, our Owners Committee is doing this for your own good and for the personal safety of all owners in the entire community. I hope you won't be stubborn. 306. Lao Wang, that's right. Dangerous elements like you, Li Xiaoluo, must be controlled first, otherwise we won't dare to go out. And Director, if Li Xiaoluo doesn't surrender, then go to his home to arrest him. If we have the manpower, if it's not enough, I can also contribute. 902 Mr. Yu, and I. First I beat the old man, and now I'm still eating and drinking at home. It's simply inhumane. I don't think there's any need to talk nonsense with him. I just go to Li Xiaoluo's house to arrest him. I can't wait. 404 Sister Zhao, I feel that we are all in the same community, and there is no need to do things too outrageously. If you want everyone to think that you were just impulsive at the time, and now you really want to repent and make a new start, you can use actions. Tell everyone that you are not a dangerous person. For example, you must have stocked up a lot of food at home. If you take out the food at home and share it with families like us who have not had time to stock up on food, then no one will make things difficult for you anymore. I will even miss you, Li Xiaoluo, at Owner Committee Director Ma, at 306, at 902, at 404 Sister Zhao, I really didn't hit people impulsively, so you really don't have to give me a chance to change my ways. I'm at home on the 36th floor, come and catch me quickly, otherwise I will be preparing for dinner soon. Hey, I have nothing to do now. I've already thought about the dishes for dinner. I'll make my favorite spicy crab first, then boiled fish, overlord chicken, stir-fried yellow beef, spicy lobster. Just make a few random dishes and eat them. By the way, you have also seen the picture Li Xiaoluo posted. I also have 2 dogs, and they also have a change of taste at night. Just prepare 2 pounds of ribs and stew an old hen to deal with it. Also, since you all like to see photos of me eating so much, when I have dinner with my dog, I will take a few more photos and send them to the group, so that everyone can have new photos to quench their thirst. Li Xiaoluo's words were simply a naked provocation, which made many people gnash their teeth in anger. It also makes many people feel ashamed, especially Director Ma of the Property Owners Committee. Director Ma of the Owners Committee, that's unreasonable. Li Xiaoluo, you have done something wrong and still don't want to repent. It's simply lawless. Do you think that now that there is an emergency disaster and the country has no time to take care of your matter, you can just get carried away? Okay, right? There is also our Property Owners Committee. Our Property Owners Committee is the public servant of all the owners in the community. Let's see how our Property Owners Committee can eliminate harm to the community this time. 306 Lao Wang, it's too arrogant. I have never seen such an arrogant person. Anyway, I firmly support the Business Committee this time. I feel that I will not only control Li Xiaoluo, but also deal with him severely when the time comes. Emil, 902 Mr. Yu, yes, we can't let the bad guys continue to be arrogant. 505. Who's his mom? Although I haven't witnessed a beating at noon, based on the arrogant words that Li Xiaoluo said in the group, I feel that arresting him is not unfair. 701 Aunt Li, this time I finally feel that my property fees are not in vain. The Property Owners Committee has also done a good job. Li Xiaoluo smiled as he looked at the group's attack on him. These people's faces are still good now, but in the previous life, they were really disgusting. In his previous life, Li Xiaoluo was considered a good young man. For the sake of everyone being neighbors, he helped many people in the community after the apocalypse, but in the end they were kicked out of the community together in this life. Li Xiaoluo will take a good look at them jumping around next to her. Josiah Tong was carelessly pressing Li Xiaoluo's shoulders. Naturally, She saw Li Xiaoluo's operations among the owners. Now she finally understood why her boss would spend tens of millions to renovate the house and build a safe fortress before the end. It turns out that the boss had known that this would happen. Josiah Tong is not stupid either. Although the property owners committee and many owners claim to be upright, they are doing so under the banner of upholding justice for Aunt Wang. But the real purpose is probably for the food in the photo, and this is still the first day. If this disaster lasts for a long time, as the boss said, what will those people who are short of food do? She couldn't imagine it. However, Josiah Tong was still a little nervous and said, "Husband, if the people from the property owners committee come with tools, can our house really withstand it?" People in peaceful times naturally have no idea about so-called safe houses. Josiah Tong only knew that with current technology, not to mention a house, even an entire building could be easily destroyed or bulldozed. Li Xiaoluo smiled and gently pulled Josiah Tong to sit on his lap, holding Josiah Tong's soft body and smelling her delicious body fragrance. Li Xiaoluo said calmly, "They may be together soon. Come, let's watch the show together. You have to believe in your husband and me from now on. We are the only ones who can bully others, and no one can bully us." Josiah Tong's delicate cheeks were stained with a nice blush. What Li Xiaoluo said was so domineering, she really likes it. Josiah Tong is actually not the kind of love-minded little girl. If another man said this, she would just think that the man was pretending to be 13, but her boss, Josiah Tong, inexplicably believes in every word the boss says, because the boss is really mysterious and powerful, awesome in every way. Chapter 44: Li Hunting Operation. After seeing Li Xiaoluo's arrogance and lack of appreciation, Director Ma of the Owners Committee was so angry that his bald head almost started to smoke. He originally didn't want to take care of this kind of thing, but now he has become the most active one. Li Xiaoluo must be caught, and then locked up in the office of the Property Owners Committee for reflection. When the disaster is over, he can be sent directly to the detention center. Otherwise, where will the Property Owners Committee have any prestige in the future? How can I, as a director, have any dignity? Although the Property Owners Committee's money comes from the owners, its responsibility is to serve the owners of the entire community, and all the owners are their food and clothing parents. But do you still take it seriously? Since ancient times, haven't slogans been shouted very loudly? Their Property Owners Committee wants to deal with a certain owner, and there are not many reasons. Moreover, Li Xiaoluo was originally at fault this time, and now he has aroused public anger. It is the people's wish to deal with him himself, so Director Ma immediately summoned several security guards from the property, then called several male employees from the Owners Committee, and then privately contacted several enthusiastic owners in the owner group who had actively signed up to arrest Li Xiaoluo. Soon, the number of team members who arrested Li Xiaoluo reached 15. As for the initiators of this incident, Aunt Wang and Su Xiu, they also actively participated as logistics personnel. When the time comes, they will be responsible for following the large army and will be the first to witness Li Xiaoluo's desolate appearance when he was arrested. Therefore, including Aunt Wang and the others, the entire team that captured Li Xiaoluo reached 17 people. This is because Director Ma feels that it is useless if there are too many people. If there are too many people in the stairwells and rooms, it will be difficult to perform, otherwise his combat team will be even bigger. For the first time, Director Ma felt the feeling that those who win the hearts of the people win the world. What a response! In the past, the relationship between the Property Owners Committee and the owners of the community was quite tense, and there would be minor conflicts from time to time. He didn't expect that this incident would greatly increase his prestige. What an unexpected surprise! However, Director Ma may not have thought that this action would also cost him his life in advance. Originally, he could live for a long time after the apocalypse. Not long after, 17 people gathered in the office of the Homeowners Committee. Each of them was wearing thick cotton clothes or pants, or had more than a dozen pieces of clothing on them. In short, they all looked as fat as national treasures. Even everyone's head is wrapped in clothes, leaving only a pair of eyes exposed. But no matter how much they wore, they were all still breathing cold air, feeling so cold that their bones ached. In this kind of temperature, it is really difficult for them to come out so aggressively to deal with Li Xiaoluo. But these people actually have their own purposes. Needless to say, Aunt Wang and Su Xiu's mother, Aunt Wang, now hates Li Xiaoluo deeply and only wants revenge. Although Su Xiu's mother did not say that she hated Li Xiaoluo deeply, she was not much better. How could he, a loser who had been abandoned by his own family, have the nerve to slander her daughter? So this time she wanted to trample Li Xiaoluo to death, completely making him unable to stand up. so that Li Xiaoluo would never have the shame to pester her daughter again. Then there's the bald director Ma. At first he was greedy for Li Xiaoluo's food, but later he became angry that Li Xiaoluo didn't listen to him as the director, and even rebelled against him. As for the several security guards, they still regard themselves as employees, so they naturally obey Director Ma's words. Finally, there are the few warm-hearted owners. In fact, there are thousands of owners in the owner group. There are also many people who condemn Li Xiaoluo from the highest moral point, but there are not many owners who actually sign up to arrest Li Xiaoluo. Under normal circumstances, ordinary people can just watch the fun, but if they are really asked to meddle in their own business, no one will do it. The main reason why there are many brave and warm-hearted owners is that these people don't have food at home. They are all hungry, and they are debating whether to risk going out to buy some food and come back. But after reading the situation online, it's too dangerous to go out now. First of all, the temperature outside is even lower, and I read online that the roads outside are very icy and slippery, and sometimes there are strong winds. There are many frozen corpses lying on the roads outside, and no one has collected them yet. Now everyone is trying every possible means to get back home. Everyone thinks that if they wait at home for a few days, this disaster will be over. Secondly, Li Xiaoluo is a southern city. In the past, the coldest winters were only that cold, so many people's winter clothes at home were not too thick, let alone professional thermal equipment. Anyone who dares to go out now either has a brain problem or is a real warrior. Finally, the neighborhood office and community committee have issued notices that no one can hoard supplies. Even if they risk going out, they may not be able to buy much food. Even if they manage to buy a lot of food at a high price, they may not be able to take it home alive. Therefore, many owners would rather be hungry at home than go out and take risks. But the feeling of hunger is not unbearable. But Li Xiaoluo's incident gave them another hope. Since that Li Xiaoluo broke the law, he must be arrested. Then he was arrested, so naturally no one would eat the food in his house. So it makes sense to help everyone and help everyone get through the current difficulties, right? And anyway, it is the property owners committee that takes the lead, and they are enthusiastic citizens. If the responsibility really needs to be investigated after the disaster is over, there will be people who will do it. They could only take as much food from Li Xiaoluo and give it back to Li Xiaoluo. In fact, Director Ma of the property owners committee thinks the same as these enthusiastic owners. Li Xiaoluo is just an ordinary business owner, not a vicious gangster. If he really wants to arrest Li Xiaoluo, he can just send a few security guards to catch him. But the reason why Director Ma called so many people, and also called the owners, was so that if things got serious after the disaster, he could shirk responsibility and not blame everyone. The 17 people were fully prepared as quickly as possible, such as bringing some equipment, including explosion-proof shields, security sticks, pepper spray, etc. They even guessed that Li Xiaoluo might not open the door immediately by himself, so they brought some tools and prepared to open the door violently. Director Ma then named the team the Operation Plum Hunt Team, and even prepared a high-spirited pre-war speech. Director Ma, forget about the speech, let's get down to business. If we delay any longer, we will freeze. How will we control Li Xiaoluo then? That's it. Director Ma, food. No, it's important to catch the dangerous Li Xiaoluo. It's the same with your performance after your speech. Several male owners directly interrupted Director Ma, and just gave him a name that looked like shit. And even if they didn't do this, they really thought that you, the director, were awesome. Another owner said directly, Director Ma, when Li Xiaoluo is caught, the food in his house will be a bit wasted. Can I take some back for emergency use? Of course, I know the law, and I know that even if Li Xiaoluo commits a crime it's a sin, but his food is still his. I just don't want to waste it. I'll spend money to buy it when the time comes, and me, I'll buy some too when the time comes. Director Ma has already taken a fancy to the food at Li Xiaoluo's house. Now that these owners have taken the initiative, he will feel more at ease when the time comes. Aunt Wang on the side still had enough food for several days at home, so she was not too concerned about Li Xiaoluo's food. She only cared about Li Xiaoluo's fate, so she quickly reminded her kindly, everyone, you should be careful later. That Li Xiaoluo may have been a little stimulated after his breakup, and now he is mentally a little abnormal. When the time comes, you'd better swarm him and control him directly first, and then say anything else. Chapter 45 Li Xiaoluo, hurry up and open the door yourself. Hey, Aunt Wang, you don't have to worry about this. We have so many old men going together, but we can't deal with Li Charlotte. He doesn't have 3 heads and 6 arms, right? Haha. Even if Li Xiaoluo has 3 heads and 6 arms, it won't be enough to kill so many of us. That is, there are so many of us, and one of us can drown Li Xiaoluo just by peeing. Some of the enthusiastic owners who came here this time were not good people to begin with, and some even got into fights a lot, so they didn't even realize there was any danger in this operation. And this time, I followed a public organization to beat people, and I beat people on the side of justice. They were even more excited. As if some suppressed things had been released, a group of people began to head towards Li Xiaoluo's house on the 36th floor. Mom, are you really going to trouble Brother Xialuo? On the way, Su Xiuxiu's mother received a message from Su Xiuxiu on WeChat. Su Xiuxiu had just seen what happened in the owner group at home, and knew that many people were going to trouble Li Xiaoluo. Even my mother got involved depending on the situation. So she hurriedly sent a message to ask Su Xiuxiu's mother. Immediately made an angry expression, and then said, Xiuxiu, why are you suddenly ignorant? Didn't you say last time that you had nothing to do with that Li Xiaoluo anymore? Why do you still call him Brother Xialuo? Your Aunt Wang said that Li Xiaoluo ruined your reputation at noon, and now he has violated the law by beating people. He will definitely pay compensation and may even go to jail. You can't have anything to do with him anymore, Su Xiuxiu said. Mom, what do you believe in what Aunt Wang says? Brother Xialuo is definitely not that kind of person who speaks ill of people behind their backs. Mom, come back quickly and don't go to Brother Xialuo's house to cause trouble for Brother Xialuo. It would be even better if you could persuade others not to trouble Brother Xialuo. Su Xiuxiu's mother, Xiuxiu, is your brain frozen? Do you really want to reconcile with Li Xialuo again? I tell you there is no way, there are no windows. Your mother, I only have a daughter, and your father and I have worked hard. I brought you up, and I originally wanted you to study hard and get ahead, but we can't do anything if you don't do well in your studies. But you must listen to me when it comes to finding a son-in-law, and you must find a golden turtle husband. Su Xiuxiu, Mom, do you think your daughter is stupid? If Brother Xialuo is still the same Brother Xialuo, I will definitely not continue to care about him. But do you know what I saw that day? I saw Brother Xialuo driving going out in a sports car. Su Xiuxiu's mother, Li Xiaoluo has a sports car? This is impossible, right? We have been neighbors for so many years, how can I not know what is going on in his family? Su Xiuxiu continued, Mom, I originally thought the same as you and thought I knew Brother Xialuo very well, but now I feel that I was wrong. Let's not talk about Brother Xialuo driving a sports car. He may have borrowed it from a friend or borrowed it from a friend rented also. Last time Brother Xialuo brought a very tall and beautiful woman home for the night. You could say that the woman was out of her mind, but now that Brother Xialuo dared to hit someone casually, he would not have the confidence. Question mark. And all he eats at home are top quality steaks and king crabs? Don't you understand? When Su Xiuxiu said this, Su Xiuxiu's mother was really stunned. It seems to make sense, but when did Li Xiaoluo get rich? Why doesn't she know? But Su Xiuxiu's mother still said, but my daughter, Li Xiaoluo hit someone and broke the law. It is always bad for you to follow a criminal in the future, right? Su Xiuxiu made a speechless expression. Mom, is it okay for those rich people to hit someone? Did you watch the news before? Did you know that Mr. Wang beat someone? The person who was beaten was very happy to reconcile later, because he won't be able to earn the compensation in his lifetime. Su Xiuxiu's mother suddenly realized, let me tell you, no wonder Li Xiaoluo beats people so confidently, but we are already in the elevator, and it's too late to leave. If I just leave like this time, what will Director Ma and the others think of me? Su Xiuxiu immediately said, Mom, Brother Xialuo lives on the 36th floor, so you will be downstairs on the 35th floor. Just don't let Brother Xialuo see you going with Director Ma and the others. Su Xiuxiu's mother, in this business, I am a logistics worker anyway. I simply suggested that all of them stay downstairs on the 35th floor, and then your Aunt Wang and I would hide at the top of the stairs and not show up. Su Xiuxiu, okay, Mom, remember, we have to stand on Brother Xialuo's side. I will also inform Brother Xialuo immediately, so that he will definitely think well of me. At Li Xiaoluo's house, Josiah Tong's delicate face was red as she sat on Li Xiaoluo's lap. The boss seems to have a special liking for her long legs, and he will play with them carefully for a long time. Every time Josiah Tong has also seen some articles on the internet before, saying which part of a woman's body is most attractive to men. The answers are varied. Some say it is the buttocks, some say it was also said to be legs, and there were words about legs playing in the new year. Josiah Tong felt a little perverted just thinking about it, but she never thought that her boss was such a person. Of course, Li Xiaoluo did not do anything perverted towards her beautiful legs, he just simply likes her beautiful legs more than other parts of her body. So Josiah Tong feels that his boss is definitely not a pervert, he just has different hobbies, but this hobby of the boss sometimes makes Josiah Tong feel quite exhausted. Sometimes, several pairs of stockings may be scrapped in a day. Fortunately, the stockings behind her were provided by her boss. Otherwise Josiah Tong felt that just the money to buy stockings would make her bankrupt. Bang bang bang. Suddenly there was a loud slamming at the door and Josiah Tong just couldn't help but offer a sweet kiss at this moment, but the sound of BG on the door brought Josiah Tong back to her senses. She suppressed a hit in her heart and immediately wanted to leave Li Xiaoluo's arms. Don't move. Ignore them for now. Let's finish the kiss. In fact, Li Xiaoluo had already seen a group of people coming up from the 35th staircase through the system. Moreover, each of them was holding equipment, and there were quite a few of them, so the battle was really quite big. However, in Li Xiaoluo's eyes, these people are not even small shrimps, so there is absolutely no need to ruin his own good for these little shrimps. Li Xiaoluo, hurry up and open the door yourself. This way you can be more dignified and don't force us to do anything. The ball director Ma stood outside the door and shouted with high spirits. Unfortunately, no one responded to him in the room. A long French kiss ended, and Li Xiaoluo took out his right hand and let Josiah Tong tidy up her clothes. Then Li Xiaoluo thought, and the scene of Li Xiaoluo holding Josiah Tong suddenly appeared on the electronic display outside the door. Of course, Director Ma and others outside the house all looked fierce. There was also a display on the screen inside the door, and Li Xiaoluo and Josiah Tong could naturally see it clearly. Chapter 46 High Pressure Water Cannon. Except for Li Xiaoluo, no one thought that Li Xiaoluo's door was so advanced and could display high-definition images from inside and outside at the same time, especially when Director Ma and others outside the room suddenly saw the beautiful lady Li Xiaoluo pregnant in the room. The feeling of envy, jealousy and hatred was so sour and refreshing. This BCH Li Xiaoluo, they originally thought he was secretly enjoying delicious food at home, but they never expected that there would be such a beautiful woman. Look at that beauty's rosy and delicate face, tall figure, and beautiful legs wrapped in stockings. She is simply more beautiful than a celebrity as expected. People are more irritating than others. Where did they lose? At this moment, everyone's desire to deal with Li Xiaoluo became even stronger, and to deal with this BD severely, it would be best if someone accidentally destroys his little Charlotte and makes him scream. When Josiah Tong saw so many people coming outside, she felt nervous, especially because something indescribable had just happened and her face was still red, and he was sitting on the boss's lap, which was quite embarrassing. But since the boss wanted to stimulate the people outside, Josiah Tong would obediently cooperate. After all, she was still neatly dressed and there was nothing exposed. Based on her understanding of her boss, the boss will definitely not let her get away with it. Hey, Director Ma is here, and this battle is quite big, with a lot of bad guys. Li Xiaoluo hugged Josiah Tong, and then waved to Director Ma outside the door with one hand. Director Ma outside the door was trembling with cold, and his heart was trembling with anger. He said angrily, Li Xiaoluo, you hurt people in the community at noon in front of everyone, and you still have this attitude now? Do you really want to sit in jail? Li Xiaoluo, who do you think is a BD? We are all enthusiastic people and we can't bear to see you, a beast, still enjoying yourself after beating an old man. Director Ma, why are you talking nonsense to this kind of person? Just violently open the door, and we will teach him how to behave after we get in. That's it. Director Ma, stop talking nonsense and make a quick decision. You see, Li Xiaoluo is very comfortable wearing short-sleeved clothes and hugging a beautiful woman inside, while we are freezing outside like a grandson. You have been talking nonsense to him here for a long time. No, we just happened to get his way, and he must be calling us idiots in his heart. Director Ma stared fiercely at Li Xiaoluo on the electronic screen, and then said in a cold voice with a righteous face, okay, he brought this on himself. We will open the door violently. At Director Ma's order, everyone took out the tools they had prepared in advance, such as electric drills, sledgehammers, crowbars, etc. One owner, who was tall, strong, said, get out of my way, I'll smash the lock on this door with my 3-iron hammer. Anyway, he was following Director Ma from the owner's committee to do the sabotage, so he didn't feel any pressure at all. So, everyone made room for him. The tall man picked up the hammer and swung it hard against the door, muttering, 80, I don't know what his slogan means. If you smash the door, you will be charged 80 yuan for one hammer. Bang! After a loud noise, the tall man's hand was hit by the shock and suffered a sharp pain, but the door of Li Xiaoluo's house seemed to have been scratched by him. Nothing happened, not even a trace was left. Li Xiaoluo opened his mouth to eat a grape fed to his mouth by Josiah Tuang at home, then looked at Director Ma outside the door and said, Director Ma, you should ask a few more people to smash it. It just so happens that you can try the quality of this door for me. I spent millions to have this door replaced by Zhandon Group. Today you just want to check it for me. If the quality is not up to standard, I can find Zhandon Group at that time. Pay money, millions of doors. Director Ma and others outside the gate were shocked, although they didn't want to believe it in their hearts. The gate did look very high-end, and after being hit hard by a hammer, it didn't seem to have any damage, so they seemed to believe it again. I still don't believe it. Bang! 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 After hearing Li Xiaoluo's ridicule and seeing Li Xiaoluo enjoying himself in the room, the tall man became angry and went crazy. He picked up the hammer and smashed it again, but soon, the tall man's strength was exhausted, but the door was still intact. Not even a little deformation could be seen. In fact, if the door of Li Xiaoluo's house is really the door modified by this Zhandon Group, although it is not so easy to be violently broken open, some damage will definitely occur. But Li Xiaoluo's current lord's mansion, including the gate, has been super strengthened and has reached the level of nuclear bomb resistance. How can it be destroyed by human power? The tired and panting tall man finally stopped, and then more than a dozen men looked at each other, looking at each other. When they came, they never thought that this would happen. I originally thought that Li Xiaoluo would open the door by himself without much effort or even just by scaring him. Then they beat Li Xiaoluo severely in the name of justice, and then divided up his family's food. But the reality is cruel. After they arrived, they were first showered with dog food by Li Xiaoluo, and then they looked at the door and sighed in surprise. There is no such thing as bullying. If you can't break it open with a hammer, use an electric drill. If the door can't be opened, we'll smash the wall. I don't believe it. This place can still have an iron wall. Director Ma is the leader after all, and he quickly recovered from his depression. This time, he will definitely not return without success, so he immediately cheered everyone up. Rumble dong dong. The others were the same as Director Ma. No one wanted to come here in vain, so everyone with tools in their hands went into battle, smashing and drilling, and they were very busy. But after a while, the operation was as fierce as a tiger, and the result was 250. It's not that they don't work hard, it's that the enemy is too powerful. Damn it, what kind of talent is this Li Xiaoluo? How rich was he before, to be able to renovate the house to be so strong? I am convinced everyone gave up completely. What's wrong? Director Ma, are you also short-lived? Inside the house, Li Xiaoluo watched the group of people working and give up completely. He also stopped and let go of Josiah Tuang. Then Li Xiaoluo turned off the display on the electronic screen of the gate. Now that these free coolies have almost finished testing the security of the Lord's mansion, it's time to give them some gifts. This is a sharp weapon that Li Xiaoluo has prepared a long time ago, specially prepared for this ice disaster. It is not only installed here, but also installed in Lord No. 1 mansion. This weapon is a high-pressure water spray gun. If you don't know what it is, you have always seen sprinklers in cities, right? Some sprinkler trucks will have someone holding a water gun and spraying water. That's a water gun. It's just that Li Xiaoluo asked Zhandon Group to install high-pressure water cannons, which must be much more powerful, and it's also super strengthened by the system. At that time, Li Xiaoluo originally wanted to get some real guns from the Zhandon Group, but he didn't know if the Zhandon Group really couldn't get them, or because it was the first time he was doing business with Li Xiaoluo and he didn't trust him, so he insisted that he couldn't get them. In the end, Li Xiaoluo chose to install a high-pressure water gun under extremely low temperatures. This kind of high-pressure water cannon actually causes more damage to the enemy than real guns and live ammunition. And it is also a group damage. The only bad thing is that I can't take it with me. Chapter 47. Oh no, Director Ma fainted from the cold. Director Ma and a dozen men outside the door have not yet left. They are very angry with Li Xiaoluo. Although they know that they may not be able to easily break into Li Xiaoluo's home, they are still thinking of ways. Director Ma, Li Xiaoluo is really too arrogant and domineering. He also said that we won't last long, so let's show him how long we will last. I thought of a way. Let's send people to take turns guarding here. I don't believe that he will never come out, brother. Your method won't work since Xialuo eats so much food at one meal. It proves that he must have a lot of food stored at home. How long do we have to stay here? 3 days or 10 days? It might be cold at that time the disaster is over, and the police are here to arrest him, so what's the point of us standing guard? Besides, in this weather, even if we're not outside but squatting in the corridor, it's still very cold. Who wants to stand guard? Hey, this method really doesn't work. Who is this Xialuo? Not only did he renovate the house so solidly, but he also stocked up a lot of food. Do you think he has too many enemies in the mixed society, or does he have some foresight? Ability? No. Matter what the situation is with Xialuo, I just want to catch him and vent his anger. How about we attack with fire and smoke him out? Playing with fire? It's better to call 119 directly. I heard there's no house they can't get into. While Director Ma and the others were expressing their opinions, Xialuo had already stood on the chair, then opened a special small window on the top of the door, and then pointed a high-pressure water gun at the door. Fire, Xialuo yelled funny, and then turned on the switch of the high-pressure water gun. Suddenly, a huge stream of water spurted out like a goddess scattering flowers. This high-pressure water gun is said to be able to spray up to 100 meters away, and after the system is super enhanced, it has been directly increased by 10 times. Moreover, the water flow is large, wide-ranging and powerful. Director Ma and the others, who were completely unprepared in the corridor, were all caught off guard by the spray. It wasn't until they were soaked to the bone and bitingly cold that they understood what was happening. Maid, I'm so cold. Xialuo doesn't follow martial ethics and actually carries out a sneak attack. Holy crap, did you make a mistake? Why did he install a water gun in his home? Everyone, stop talking nonsense and run away. In fact, Director Ma has been standing at the back, and he did not take action himself when others were trying to break the goal. When Xialuo sprayed water with a high-pressure water gun, he was also the fastest to react and was the first to turn around and run away, but it was useless. Xialuo's was a high-pressure water gun, and the system had strengthened the Lord's mansion to have enough water supply, so the huge water curtain basically took care of the entire corridor. Although Director Ma ran the fastest, he still got wet. Cold, so cold. The biting cold made Director Ma's teeth tremble. Although he ran fast and got the least wet, he was also the weakest in the group, so he was the one who suffered the most from the cold. Soon, the remaining dozen or so people all fled to the stairs on the 35th floor in a panic, so that Xialuo's high-pressure water cannon could not spray them. But at this time, they were all frozen and turned purple. Until this moment, many people regretted that they had nothing to do to join in the fun. Even if you want food, can't you just go out and buy it tomorrow? You can't die from starvation for a day. Aunt Wang and Su Xiu, who had been hiding in the stairwell, were very lucky. Fortunately, they were support staff and did not come forward to join in the fun. Otherwise, given their physical condition, if they were soaked in such weather, it would take them half their lives, and they might just ascend to heaven on the spot. Especially Su Xiu's mother. She is really grateful to her daughter now, otherwise she would have followed Director Ma and the others. And Aunt Wang was very grateful to Su Xiu's mother, because she was the one who persuaded Aunt Wang to just wait for the result at the stairs. At that time, Aunt Wang thought of the scene when she was slapped by Xialuo at noon, and she was indeed a little scared, so she agreed. Planning to go out for revenge after Xialuo was controlled. But why take revenge now, completely annihilated? No. Director Ma fainted from the cold. Hurry, everyone, hurry up and go home. I feel like I'm about to die. If I don't go home, I will freeze into popsicle. Boss, Xiandan Group is really a conscientious enterprise. I originally thought that spending tens of millions to renovate a house is really too extravagant, but looking at the effect now, it's really worth it. Seeing Director Ma and his group of more than a dozen people outside being easily driven away by Xialuo, and causing them a big loss, Josiah Twang breathed a sigh of relief, and at the same time marveled at the renovated house and this Xiandan Group. Josiah Twang really didn't expect the effect to be so good. However, Xialuo smiled. This was not the conscience of Xiandan Group, it was all the credit of his system. Otherwise, no matter how powerful this Xiandan Group is, the time given by Xialuo is too short, and they will not be able to perform magic. The little test just now made Xialuo feel very happy, looking at Josiah Twang, who has a plump figure, skin as white as snow, and a charming face. It's so charming. Li Xiaoluo plans to do something mutually agreeable to celebrate. Bite, bite, but at this time, Li Xiaoluo's WeChat messages kept ringing. In fact, it was ringing before, and there was also a video call from someone. However, Li Xiaoluo was playing with his legs before and playing with a water gun later. He had no time to care about who sent the message. Li Xiaoluo took her mobile phone and found that the latest news was sent by Su Xiu. Brother Xiaoluo, I just saw the news in the owners group, and I'm so worried about your safety. Then I immediately asked my mother to find out the news. She said that Director Ma of the owners committee had brought more than a dozen people and was preparing to come looking for trouble with you. Brother Charlotte, you'd better not open the door, otherwise they will definitely beat you, and they may also steal your food. Humph, Director Ma and the others are so abominable. Even if you, Charlotte, are a little bit wrong, they are just property management people and they all serve our owners. What right do they have to arrest you, Brother Charlotte? Brother Xiaoluo, why don't you reply to my message? I'm really worried about your safety. Brother Xiaoluo, please reply to my message quickly. Otherwise, even if I don't have winter clothes, I will go upstairs to find you. It doesn't matter to me even if I get frostbite. I just want to make sure that you are not hurt. Brother Xiaoluo, I saw Su Xiu sending a message on WeChat every 1 or 2 minutes, with words full of concern and anxiety. Li Xiaoluo really wants to vomit, but Li Xiaoluo felt something was wrong again. What happened to the White Lotus? If according to the situation in the previous life, this White Lotus would take the initiative to care about herself pitifully when Li Xiaoluo happened to venture out to get food after the food at home was finished, but now that the ice disaster has just begun, Su Xiu's family's food should not have been exhausted so quickly. Why did they change their attitude so early? And Li Xiaoluo remembered what the man with dog-licking glasses said at noon. Su Xiu had recently alienated him and said a lot of good things about herself. Is this Su Xiu using the glasses man to convey her meaning? Li Xiaoluo smiled. It seemed that because of the butterfly wings, some things had changed slightly, but it doesn't matter. The fate of Su Xiu and others will definitely change. In this life, Li Xiaoluo will let them all experience the cruelty of the end of the world. Chapter 48. Su Xiu also experiences the feeling of being a licking dog. After the plum hunting operation completely failed, Su Xiu's mother definitely didn't go to work at the property owners committee, so she returned home directly. When Su Xiu saw her mother coming back, she immediately asked, Mom, why are you back so soon? Director Ma and the others didn't do anything to Brother Xiaoluo, right? Su Xiu's mother came into the room breathing air conditioning. After hearing Su Xiu's words, she said angrily, You damn kid, why don't you care if your mother and we are okay? Su Xiu smiled and said, Oh my god, there are so many of you looking for trouble with Brother Xiaoluo, and you are a support staff, how can anything happen? Su Xiu's mother said with lingering fear, Xiu, thanks to you this time, if you hadn't reminded me suddenly, your mother and I would have been miserable. Su Xiu suddenly asked curiously, Mom, what happened? So, Su Xiu's mother briefly explained the matter. From then on, Director Ma let a dozen men to violently cause trouble in front of Li Xiaoluo's house, but in the end they couldn't even get in. Then Li Xiaoluo suddenly took out a high-pressure water gun and fired. Director Ma and all of them were drowned. In the end, Director Ma even fainted from the cold. As for how Director Ma and the dozen men went back in the end, and whether they could go back safely, Su Xiu's mother got off the elevator early, so she didn't care. Anyway, she felt that the situation would definitely be very bad. It is certain that many people will catch a cold, but some may not be able to survive it. After hearing this, Su Xiu had a look of wonder on her face. Why did Li Xiaoluo suddenly become so powerful? After Su Xiu's mother finished speaking, she suddenly asked, Xiu, didn't you say you wanted to remind Li Xiaoluo? He didn't report the situation at the scene to you. Su Xiu frowned. Huh? I sent him a lot of reminders and messages of concern, but he didn't reply to any of them. There was a time when it was her licking dogs and spare tires who were constantly asking for help, and Li Xiaoluo was one of them, but she never expected that just a few days later, everything would turn around. She became the licking dog who kept greeting Li Xiaoluo and looked at her phone all the time waiting for Li Xiaoluo's reply. Su Xiu's mother immediately said with an ugly face, Xiu, it seems that Li Xiaoluo, that white-eyed wolf, has really changed his mind. Do you know that there is a beautiful woman beside him, Su? Xiu said irritably. Humph, that woman is just a coquettish vixen, so what if she is beautiful? I don't believe that my relationship with Li Xiaoluo for so many years can compare to her. I will definitely take brother Xiaoluo back, so that he can only it's good for me alone. Su Xiu naturally knew that there was a beautiful woman beside Li Xiaoluo. She had seen her last time, but when Su Xiu saw Zhou Xiaotong for the first time, she didn't regard Zhou Xiaotong as a competitor at all. She even felt that Zhou Xiaotong must be mentally retarded. Otherwise, how could she fall in love with Li Xiaoluo if she was so beautiful and elegant? But when Su Xiu found out that Li Xiaoluo had a sports car, and today she analyzed that Li Xiaoluo was really rich, her opinion of Zhou Xiaotong became serious, especially now that Li Xiaoluo has such a cold attitude towards her and has been ignoring her news. She doesn't want to blame Li Xiaoluo, and she hates that vixen Zhou Xiaotong in her heart. If it wasn't Zhou Xiaotong that Su Xiu felt about, or given Li Xiaoluo's feelings for her, as long as she pretended to be pitiful and sensational, she and Li Xiaoluo would definitely be reconciled soon. Su Xiu's mother didn't know what to say for a moment. She always wanted her daughter to marry a rich man, so that she could live a good life with no worries about food and clothing for the rest of her life, but she never expected that the richest person around her would be Li Xiaoluo, whom she had always looked down upon. Moreover, after discovering that Li Xiaoluo was an invisible rich man, their family should have been very happy. After all, the relationship between their daughter and Li Xiaoluo had been quite ambiguous before, but who would have thought that discovering that Li Xiaoluo was a rich man happened to be after his daughter alienated Li Xiaoluo? Why? Su Xiu's mother sighed in her heart. It's so annoying. What is the problem? Okay, Xiu, don't think about Li Xiaoluo for now. The food and water we have at home are enough for a day or two. You put on all your most cold-proof clothes. We will go out and get more supplies by then. Su Xiu said in shock. Mom, it's such a cold weather now. There's strong wind blowing outside, and the road is still icy and slippery. Do we want to go out? And did your business committee issue a notice to stop everyone from panic buying and hoarding supplies? Su Xiu's mother smiled and said, silly daughter, many notices are for ordinary people. Your mother and I are also the deputy directors of the property owners committee in this case. What's wrong with stocking up on supplies? If someone finds out, then just say it was purchased by the property owners committee, and there is no need to go outside the community. It is the small human supermarket downstairs in our community. I have already greeted the supermarket owner before and asked him to prepare a batch of food and supplies for me. We will wait until the wind is not so strong. Just go get it. Su Xiu nodded, sighed. Mom, it's better that you have rights. Su Xiu's mother smiled and said, forget it. Your mother and I don't have any power. I can also manage our community and the shops in the community. Outside of our community, I have nothing, although Su Xiu's mother said so, she was still quite satisfied with her identity, and at least she had some power. Aunt Wang returned home at about the same time as Su Xiu's mother. After all, she lived upstairs and downstairs. After Aunt Wang opened the door, she found that her son Wang Chenglong had returned safely, and her depressed mood immediately became happy. Son, you didn't encounter any danger when you came back, did you? I read on Douyin that it's really dangerous outside now, and it seems that a lot of people have died. You shouldn't take the risk of coming back. You can just deal with it in the company for a day or two. Wang Chenglong looked at Aunt Wang, swallowed in fear and said, Mom, please stop talking. I almost died on the way and couldn't come back. Aunt Wang suddenly became nervous. Her son was everything to her. She quickly asked with concern, Son, what's going on? You're not hurt, are you? Wang Chenglong said, the extreme precipitation and cooling weather at noon was really weird. I don't know how long this weather will last, so I felt it was safest to go home, but I didn't expect that when I was driving to our community, the car broke down and hit the green belt. Fortunately, I was driving very slowly at the time and no one was injured. Then I saw that it was only about 20 minutes walk from our community, so I decided to walk back. But I didn't expect that the road was icy and slippery, and sometimes it was windy. I fell several times in just a short distance. But luckily it was just a few bruises, nothing serious. Aunt Wang was frightened when she heard it. After hearing the last word, she finally breathed a sigh of relief and said, Son, luckily God has blessed you with nothing. If anything happened to you, I wouldn't be alive. I will definitely be bullied by that Li Xiaoluo in the future. Die? Wang Chenglong's face suddenly turned extremely ugly and said, Mom, I saw the news about Li Xiaoluo beating you. Li Xiaoluo is so capable. He dares to hit my mother. Don't worry, I will make him kneel down and kowtow to you. Apologize, by the way, didn't the people from the property owners committee go to arrest Li Xiaoluo? Where are they keeping Li Xiaoluo now? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 49 The Disappeared Director Ma. The second day of the ice disaster, Li Xiaoluo knew that starting from today, it would snow heavily all over the world. To be precise, it started snowing last night. When everyone wakes up in the morning, they will find that there is only white left in the world, and the snow is almost 1 meter deep. Those who were afraid to go out yesterday will find it even more difficult to go out today, and starting from today, there will be power outages in various places, followed by water outages at that time. People who are not well prepared will seem to be entering hell, and people will really start to panic. Li Xiaoluo already knew the daily natural disasters clearly, so he didn't have to pay attention to the official news like other people. But also the gossip in the WeChat group. Li Xiaoluo was in a warm house and slept soundly with Zhou Xiaotong in her arms last night. It was already bright outside, but Li Xiaoluo was still dreaming in the dream. The female warrior transformed by Zhou Xiaotong used all the knowledge that Li Xiaoluo taught her in order to defeat Li Xiaoluo, but Li Xiaoluo's body, which has been strengthened by the system, is no longer the wuxia of the past. I thought he was himself in the days before the end. In order to save face, he worked overtime every time. Then I almost had to change places to live to temporarily escape the limelight. Li Xiaoluo laughed at Zhou Xiaotong's overestimation in his dream, but Zhou Xiaotong in the dream was also very unconvinced and insisted on deciding the outcome with Li Xiaoluo. So as a secretary, she became more serious and responsible. I don't know how long it's been, Mad. Why is this dream surreal? Hiss, it feels quite nice. Drowsily, Li Xiaoluo woke up in the coolness, and then felt that the feeling of comfort became more real after opening his eyes. Li Xiaoluo immediately noticed something was wrong. Lao Gao was bulging under the quilt. Li Xiaoluo directly opened the quilt, and his eyes happened to meet Zhou Xiaotong, who raised his head. Good guy. Zhou Xiaotong probably didn't expect that Li Xiaoluo would suddenly lift the quilt, and suddenly she looked like a child caught stealing, and her delicate balls turned red. Zhou Xiaotong, who is usually plump and tall, is tall, dignified, and has an outstanding temperament, but sometimes she blushes easily, but she looks more charming every time she blushes. Good guy. Is the beautiful secretary so proactive now? He actually secretly did it while he was sleeping. Simply, very good. This kind of spirit is still very commendable and should be encouraged more. Tong Tong, you are doing well. This kind of wake-up service is very good. Keep up the good work in the future, Zhou Xiaotong blushed and immediately ran to the bathroom to wash up. Li Xiaoluo also got out of bed and followed him into the bathroom. As for whether anything else happened between the two of them inside, Li Xiaoluo can only say that men in the morning are really energetic, on point, be diligent, tireless. After Li Xiaoluo and Zhou Xiaotong came out after washing up, Zhou Xiaotong went to prepare breakfast, which she was quite good at, especially when it comes to fried poached eggs. You have to fry a lot of them every time. Li Xiaoluo came to the window of the balcony. The world outside was basically white, and even the cars on the roadside were almost buried in the snow. Li Xiaoluo took a look at his phone and found that the atmosphere on Dawan was more anxious today than yesterday. After all, yesterday was the first day of the ice disaster. Many people felt that this extreme weather would definitely not last long, so even if there is no food hoarder, it is not a big problem if you want to go hungry all day. And yesterday it was just a drop in temperature and the road was icy, so if you want to drive out, it's no problem as long as you're brave. But when I woke up today, everything changed. Has anyone seen it snowing in the south in the summer? And the snow is so thick. Perhaps this situation has never happened since the history of China was recorded. With such thick snow, it is very difficult for people to walk out, let alone drive out. In addition, it is snowing so heavily now, and it is obviously not possible to return to normal in a short time. What if they don't have enough food at home? What should I do if my warm clothes are not thick enough? If you persist for a day, you can barely hold on, but now they will collapse. In fact, since last night, many people have not slept at night. Because they found that the air conditioner in the room could no longer handle the cold. Some people are even worried about their jobs and what to do with their mortgages. The internet is full of complaints and pessimism. Of course, there are even more pessimistic reports from mainstream news media. According to the latest statistics from CBB in Beautiful Country, as of 9 a.m. today, the number of people who have frozen to death in Beautiful Country due to extreme cold weather has exceeded 1 million. Ordinary people who have been frozen can be seen everywhere on the streets of Beautiful Country. The government has already on hiatus. At the same time, we are turning our attention to Pakistan. Due to the extreme low temperature, it is more difficult to transport humanitarian supplies. Countless refugees have been frozen to death in the ruins. The China Disaster Relief Headquarters released the latest information on this cold disaster. According to official data, the lowest temperature of this cold disaster has reached -60 degrees, and even reached -65 degrees in some places. However, under the unified guidance of the headquarters with the deployment, the overall situation is still within control. When seeing the data on the news, everyone intuitively felt the power of this disaster. For example, in many foreign countries, more than 1 million people died just yesterday. The country's disaster resilience can be said to be the strongest in the world, but a lot of people must have died. It's just that the specific numbers haven't been announced yet. So today, whether online or in real life, everyone is very depressed, but the depression and death data on the internet have nothing to do with Xialuo. Xialuo casually took out a bottle of ice-cold drink from the system space, unscrewed the cap and took a sip. Feeling completely refreshed, Xialuo checked WeChat again. Basically all group messages were 99+. Then Xialuo saw someone else add him in the owner group, Wang Chenglong. Are you going to keep pretending to be dead? I don't have to worry about you beating my mother, but now many families in the community have no food. There are old people and even children of several years old among them. You have so much food at home, how dare you not save it? Xialuo took a look, and it turned out that in the morning, a woman said in the owner group that she had no food at home. She had been hungry all day yesterday, and she was really hungry today and couldn't bear it anymore. She originally thought about going out to buy some food today, but unexpectedly, the door was blocked by heavy snow. Today it's hard to go out now, and it's even harder to bring food back, so the woman asked for help among the owners, hoping that if someone had a lot of food, they would share some with her. After all, she is a woman. The men in the owner group will not watch her go hungry as a woman, right? If there hadn't been such heavy snow, she would have just posted a post on WeChat Moments, and there would have been a bunch of spare tires to deliver food to her home. But what the woman didn't expect was that this time she asked for help from the owner group, but not only did she not receive help, instead, it attracted a lot of people to follow suit, and everyone said there was no food at home. Some people said they were suffering from stomach problems due to hunger, some elderly people fainted due to hunger, and some hungry children had no source of milk. In short, one is worse than the other, but in this situation, no one is a fool. Who would give the food at home to others? And those who say they are hungry probably have plenty of food at home. The owners who did not get any help started to at owner committee director Mar one after another. After all, he was the one who issued the notice yesterday not to go out or rush to buy and hoard supplies. Now that everyone is in trouble, he, the director of the property owners committee, should think of a solution, right? But Director Ma doesn't know what's going on today and hasn't posted anything in the group. Just when everyone was scolding Director Ma for being a coward whenever something happened, Wang Chenglong sent a message to the owner group. Everyone knows that you have hoarded a lot of food. I am here to make a decision for my mother. As long as you give 2/3 of the food at home to those who are hungry, I will not hold you accountable for beating the FG legal responsibility. Chapter 50. Xialuo digs a hole. As soon as the news about Wang Chenglong came out, immediately, there was a chorus of praise among the owners. 503 Yi's mother, Aunt Wang, is such a good person, and she has educated such a good son. I would like to thank Jackie Chan on behalf of my little Yi. You saved my little Yi's life. 604. Teacher Liu, both Aunt Wang and her son are such virtuous and kind people, but someone actually beats Aunt Wang. Alice, the country's education still needs to be improved. 702. Wang Qiang, as a man, please say something quickly. You should be glad that the legal society saved you. Otherwise, if your behavior had been a few decades ago, you would have been beaten to death by everyone at noon yesterday. 807. Purple grape, brother, can you give me some food then? I'll trade grapes with you then, I'm sure you'll be satisfied. Sister Liu, mother of Su Xiu, from the property owners committee, at everyone, let me be fair. In fact, Li Xialuo and Aunt Wang are all neighbors. Li Xialuo is actually a very nice kid and is very helpful. He probably hit someone yesterday because something happened to him and he was impulsive, and it is said that this matter is also related to my family's Xiu. There is a man with glasses who has been stalking my family's Xiu, but my family's Xiu has always ignored him, and he may have seen the relationship between Li Xialuo and my family's Xiu. Okay, so I vented my anger on Li Xialuo, and Aunt Wang also had good intentions at the time, so some misunderstandings occurred. To be honest, this matter has something to do with my Xiu family, and I am the deputy director of the property owners committee. I really hope that this matter will not become a big deal. If Aunt Wang can forgive Li Xialuo, even Aunt Wang's I can pay for the medical expenses. So Charlotte, since your Aunt Wang has taken the initiative to propose reconciliation this time, and it is not a difficult condition to fulfill, let's listen to your Aunt Liu. Let's bring out some food, and let this matter be over. Wang Chenglong was smiling very proudly at home. This was actually all his plan. In other words, it's a conspiracy. He deliberately pretended to be generous and said that as long as Li Xialuo brought out the food, he would not hold Li Xialuo responsible for beating him. In fact, how could he take advantage of Li Xialuo like that? Yesterday, Wang Chenglong learned from his mother that Li Xialuo had built a tortoise shell so that no one could enter Li Xialuo's house. Moreover, Li Xialuo also installed a high-pressure water cannon at home, which is very despicable and shameless. Even if Wang Chenglong wants to vent his anger for Aunt Wang, he will not go to the 36th floor to trouble Li Xialuo again, so he came up with a way to lure Li Xialuo out of the house. As long as Li Xialuo is fooled and expresses his willingness to hand over 2/3 of the food, then he will definitely open the door and take out the food, and then he can catch Li Xialuo. Even if you don't cause trouble for Li Xialuo by then, will Director Ma and those people who were sprayed by Li Xialuo with a high-pressure water gun yesterday let Li Xialuo go? Of course. If Li Xialuo dared to say that he was unwilling to hand over the food at home, Wang Chenglong would also be happy, because in that case, Li Xialuo will offend many people in the community, and he will definitely become a street rat that everyone shouts about. Li Xialuo looked at the news in the group and did not expect to hit the old one, Aunt Wang. Today, the young one, Wang Chenglong, came out in Su Xiu's mother. Su Xiu's mother said a lot in the owner group, but she was actually speaking for herself. It's also rare by Su Xiu. Brother Xialuo, look at the news in the owner group. Brother Xialuo, I have discussed it with my mother. My mother feels that agreeing to Wang Chenglong's terms is the most beneficial to you. Otherwise, if Aunt Wang really pursues the case, you may go to jail. Brother Xialuo, I have begged my mother for a long time. My mother said that if you are afraid that you will be hungry later if you hand over the food, our family stocked up a lot of food yesterday. If you are really short of food, my family can give me some of the food. Looking at the series of messages sent by Su Xiu, Li Xialuo was a little curious what happened to the mother and daughter, but Li Xialuo suddenly thought of a fun way, so Li Xialuo replied to Su Xiu, "Are you really willing to lend me your food?" Su Xiu, happy smiling face. Brother Xialuo, you finally responded to my message. Brother Xialuo, don't worry, as long as you are safe and sound, I will do anything. Li Xialuo replied to Su Xiu, very good, then. Li Xialuo sent a few messages directly to the owner group. At everyone, I accepted Wang Chenglong's suggestion. Anyone who needs food can go to the 12th floor of Building A to get it from at the house of Sister Liu, Su Xiu's mother, of the property committee. My daughter has promised to lend me food to help me get through this difficult time. In addition, now I know that Aunt Wang, mother and son are indeed good people. They are so helpful, so selfless and caring about the suffering of the public. So, if you go to Sister Liu's house of the owners committee to get food, there are still people who are short of food and clothing, so I suggest you go to Aunt Wang's house to get some. First of all, since Aunt Wang and her son are so generous and give it to everyone without the food that I compensate for, it means that her family must have stored a lot of food. Secondly, since they are so kind-hearted, they will definitely not leave it alone. As soon as Li Xialuo's news came out, Su Xiu's mother, Aunt Wang and her son were very angry at home. Even Su Xiu was stunned. She didn't expect Li Xialuo to do this. What she said to Li Xialuo in private about borrowing food was not what she meant. She just wanted to win Li Xialuo's favor, and she only gave food to Li Xialuo, but she didn't say she would give food to the entire community at the same time. The owner group also exploded. 503 Yi's mother, do you still have any conscience? Sister Liu of the property owner committee is kind enough to speak for you, but you want us to get the food from her house? Aunt Wang and her son kindly forgive you for beating people, but you do it instead. Sarcastic. 604. Lao Wang next door, maid, I'm really enlightened. There are such shameless people. They are role models for us. 705. Gauzi, one person does the work and the other takes responsibility. You must bring out this food. Don't get involved with Sister Liu and Aunt Wang's house in the property owners committee if you don't take it. I have counted before, among the owners group there are at least hundreds of people without food. Think about the consequences of these hundreds of people coming to your house and breaking down your door. Countless messages basically denounced Li Xiaoluo. However, Li Xiaoluo didn't feel anything about the denunciations and threats in the group. He just said calmly in the group of owners, everyone, first of all, I borrowed the food from Sister Liu's house of the owners committee, and they themselves agreed to borrow it. There are chat records as evidence. No matter if any of you go, no matter how much food you take, tell the price in the group and I will directly convert it into double the money and return it to Sister Liu of the owners committee. If anyone feels that there is no shortage of food at home, then don't go and get it. Or if anyone feels that they have the ability to grab the food from my home, I also welcome everyone to come to my home to grab and buy it. I promise that you will. There is no need to bear any legal responsibility. Then, Li Xiaoluo copied the video from the surveillance system yesterday of Director Ma leading a dozen people to violently break down the door of his house, but was eventually soaked in water and sent it to the owner group. After watching this video, Li Xiaoluo believes that those people in the owner group who are full of benevolence, justice and morality will know whether they should come to their own home to find food after they are hungry, or whether they should go to Su Xiu and Aunt Wang's home. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.